Sunday stream indeed. I know I owed a stream, seeing as I've only streamed like twice this week. Hello, Violist. How are you, though? Morning. It's actually the afternoon for me. I just shaved my face and washed it, so kind of feels like it's a bit dry. Oh fuck! Man United won 3-2 in extra time. Wow. Aston Villa lost. That's exciting. Hello, Chris. Hello, moderation. Yes, hello to the moderators. I'm 4-man deep in this German. Did you moisturize? No, I forgot to. I'll do it after. It's fine. It just feels dry. Okay, right. We're going to do the Wordle real quick. Can't believe our guy Elon has been implicated. I know. Who would have thought that the man who made Grok would have been implicated? When's the new No Politics here? I'm not sure. I would have assumed yesterday, but Isaac hasn't dropped it yet. So,
it is utterly ridiculous.
Collaborator. Sorry, it's ready. I missed your text. Should be up today. Second goal for Fulham was otherworldly. Was it? Let me have a look. Hold on. I'll check out what meme you've put in a second. Thanks for the 2,200 Chilean pesos. God, everything that you search on social media is just fucking porn. Like on on X, it's such a bad app now. I'm searching Fulham and it's just a photo of some nudie picture. I don't like that. Kevin. Fulham Kevin. Let's have a look. Hold on. He posted about having to edit out all the slurs. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, yeah. No, there are a couple of things that did have to be edited out, but they were nothing major. They were just things that like might have caused us problems, but like they weren't, we spoke to James about them, so it's fine. It's a good episode though, especially the second half. I said this, the second half is really good. There's a bit where Isaac has a very long conversation. Hold on, I'm watching Kevin's goal. I wish I could show it. Oh, that is a nice goal. Nice goal. Making a video about Iran or Syria, and do you have any recommendations? I haven't. I wouldn't make a video. I mean, we've spoken about Iran a lot on here, but if you want to watch like a longer form, more historical thing on, then you can see. Then you can watch No Politic here, which is like which is like a much more. Oh, for fuck's sake! Hold on. Sorry, excuse me. Hold on. My PC always makes such weird noises because it's so silent there. So this is the meme that Thomas put in, which I enjoyed already. Which, Lord Asmodeus, I beseech you to let me into your creepy cult. No, you're too weird. Who is Lord Asmodeus? But yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. I actually cannot believe every conspiracy theorist was right. I mean, to some extent, I think a lot of conspiracy theories are fucking insane. There are certainly some interesting parts. Fucking crazy, though. I think actually one of the main things, new Epstein files, Keir Starmer. Like, I was watching the BBC and they were like, there's not much about Trump in here, just some unsubstantiated rumors. And it's like, what? What do you mean? Ugh. Hold on. We're going to talk about a lot that. Asmodeus. Who is Asmodeus? I don't know. About to start 10 Myths About Israel by Ilan Pape. How would you rate the new historians based on the importance of their scholarship? I mean, the Israeli new historians didn't say all that much new in the sense of like Palestinians had said this stuff for ages. Palestinians had said and done and talked about this. It was more just that they had access to the Hebrew archives and basically confirmed. Some of them I think probably don't get the appreciation of Ilan, who I like. I really enjoy Gershon Shafir's work. I think Gershon Shafir wrote a lot of good stuff. Politically, I don't know how great he is, but certainly as like as an author on Israel, he's pretty good. There's a match for billionaire accounts on Blue Sky. What do you mean? Lord of the Ninth Circle of Hells. Jesus. That's what... Is it you accusing me of that? I swear I ain't been doing that for a while these days. That's exactly what I thought. We'll post after. I'm streaming right now. Cheers. Right, sorry, I need to... I'm actually shocked that Eric Prince isn't in the files. It could be that because he's more into MBZ's sphere of influence, not the Saudis. Maybe. I'm not sure why he wouldn't be in there. Who knows? I mean, also maybe he just didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. No, that's not how you spell it, is it? Crate. Let's go for. Wow, nothing. Found. Wow, so it has to have an I in it, I think. So I think it's... So where's the I? Oof, fuck. I wish I still had a T. I could guess I might go for blink. Oh, fuck. Anyone else think the timing is not a coincidence? I mean, I'm not sure. Well, they seemingly haven't attacked Iran, and apparently people are saying, oh, there's going to be they're saying that there's going to be like a potential negotiations. Who fucking knows at this point? This is a hard one. Shins? Could it be? Shiny? It might be. Oh. Hey, Natnip. Thank you for becoming a member.
Ridiculous.
Welcome to level 1. Spiny? I really... yeah, you just... It's weird. You guys just typed it in before I did. Spiny... Spiny... Swinny... Skinny... Shinny... I think it has to be this, right? Spiny... Spinny... Spiny? Yeah, spiny. Yeah, spiny. Spiny. Swing. It is indeed spiny. Yeah. I was worried I was saying spinny wrong, but I was like, it definitely has 2 ends. By the way, enjoy your new emojis, Natnip, or your emotes, I apologize. I probably have access to add another emote. Is there any emote that people think needs to be removed / replaced and put in with a new one? Hello, politics. Hello, everyone. I'll send all the emotes. If anyone thinks that there's one that should be replaced, let me know. We'll do the connections real quick. Quick time. Piss emote is a must. Yeah, maybe I'll add that. I don't know. I'm sure I might have access to another one now. Okay, right. Pitch. Ooh, sharp pitch, flat. Is this like a misdirect? A red herring, ones might say. Because it feels like there should be another musical related thing here, but I can't find it. Wedge thorn. Boost. Ooh. Plug wedge. Was there? Did I see shove? No, I don't think. Jam, plug, wedge. I might be just these together. Ooh, jam, clog. Ooh, I don't know. I like the Kunz Boo Boo, I think. I don't know. I guess it doesn't have that many uses, is the only thing. Congrats on graduating. Graduating from what? I graduated a long-ass time ago. Hold on, let me just... Hi, everyone. I am live on YouTube. Recovery. Files. Armor. Mandelson. More. Ooh, all right. Type of shoes. Mule. Oh, what, really? Mule flat clog wedge. That might be right. How was your event yesterday? It was very good, thank you. I didn't get to meet any of you because Henry didn't end up coming. But yeah, the event was good. What was the pic on the thumbnail? Oh, that's an old pic of... Oh, wait. That's a meme. That's a meme. That's a meme that Thomas made? Or it's in the Discord. Stream Thomas will the world for me. Curse you, Chris. Oh, sorry, Jeebus. I deeply apologize. Sharp pitch. Hype boost. Banger? Ooh. Banger heater? Could it be that? Oh. Boost hype pitch plug. Yeah, maybe it is. I didn't think of that. Boost hype pitch plug. Nice. Publicize. Yeah. Cool. My profile picture is my graduation. Yeah, it's from 2024, I think. Yeah, December 2024. Before most of you even know who I am. No, with sick emojis. Also, I guess we'll announce it later. Oh yeah, bop jam heater banger. Words for like a good song. Thorn sharp Morgan glue. Captain. No. Oh, instruments plug starting letter. Lute, organ, harp, horn. Whew, there we go. Right. That is that everything that I want to do with those? Was there any memes? Oh yeah, wait. Before we get into like more serious stuff, and it's obviously going to be a pretty tough day. Have any of you seen this account who's like doing tests on YouTube to see if he can recreate Charlie Kirk being shot? He apparently doesn't believe that Charlie Kirk was shot. It's a really odd genre of posting. His bio is Charlie Kirk is still alive. Change my mind any weekday night at 9 p.m. EST on my daily spaces. I'm sure next week we'll be calling into that. He's also been working on the blood texture and flow rate. He has loads of mannequins. There's an incredible part where he does an acting performance of trying to work out whether he's been shot or not. It's a real good bit, I will say. I want to hear him speak. He managed to, by the way, I just wanted to say, he managed to get Charlie Kirk's necklace to behave the correct way. It's not perfect yet, as I haven't broken the chain yet, and I still think I need a little more power, but this is getting super close. The necklace now makes the slinky-like shape near the right ear. That's important. I want to find, because there's like a recording of his Twitter Spaces. Hold on.
Basically been prejudiced to do so by the story that was given, right? Of this and all of these kind of images that you've been told there's a shooter on Losi. So if you're backwards designing this shot from Losi and you can anticipate what you would expect to
on the stage with the crowd after the shot rings out. So I really don't think the maroon shirt guy is the guy who was on the roof. The guy at Dairy Queen, I don't know. I have no reason to believe that any of these people are the same people. So that's what...
God, I can't imagine the kind of theories that are getting cooked up here.
It is utterly ridiculous.
The one guest that KKK Clandis won't invite on. I'm not gonna lie. Probably will have this guy on. He doesn't believe that Charlie Kirk was even assassinated. I think it might be a bit. I don't know. I don't know. Surely, like, he claims to have also injured himself doing this kind of stuff. Prove that assassination was faked. He has an incredible tweet here. In response to the one of where he's using his shirt, someone says, the shirt is 100% cotton. The movement test of the shirt doesn't come close to the speed of CK's shirt during the shooting. From starting point to zenith, it's 5 frames as with CK, only 1 frame with the shirt also rising slightly higher. This is the Charlie Kirk Freedom Tee.
It is utterly ridiculous.
If there's a gulag, Charlie Alive conspiracy with mannequins will never happen. Charlie Kelly, thank you for the 7 months. Incredible that some of you guys have been here that long. But yeah, I think Charlie is alive, mate, and I think you're probably just jealous and worried that you can't even think on this. That you can't even think on this kind of that you can't even comprehend this. But guys, I think you should all know about your Charlie Kirk Freedom Tee, which I know many of you have spent $40 on. That's the mass-produced commercial TPUSA Grifter Edition. The OG one Charlie wore was a Carhartt Force Sun Defender 100% polyester jersey with custom text through graphic goat. We know this because we can see the Carhartt logo twice and the graphic goat logo once on his shirt. So that's some quite important knowledge for you. Well, I have seen reason to believe Charlie Kirk was alive. Isaac sent me a video, which unfortunately I'm not logged into my proper account. But there is there's certainly a video of 2 men who look a lot like Charlie Kirk. You know, I saw him. Charlie ain't dead. I saw him on the. I saw him on the meme video. But yeah, I mean, $40 for a t-shirt. I bet it's dog shit as well. This is absolutely jobless behavior. Excuse me? What the fuck are you talking about? This is a job. Have any of you seen as well? I'm sure some of you are on Twitter. And like, look, there's an old video I remember saw of Lonerbox saying I seemed socially inept and bad empanada and stuff. And like, look, or like that I seem really lonely or something. Now, in many ways, I am a bit socially inept. If you ever meet me, I'm a little bit awkward because I don't really know how to introduce, like, I'm not very good at introducing myself. So like, if I'm around people, it's not my greatest skill. But you know, if you know me, I'm a pretty sociable person. Unfortunately, I can't look at his account. Fuck, is Twitter down? Oh, this is not great when you've planned a stream around Twitter. Okay, so we can't talk about that. Okay. I was talking about him. Yeah, I was talking about him as well. He was brilliant. That guy is doing really important work. What are you talking about? You know what? You're just you're this close to a ban because you're disparaging some of the most important research that I've ever heard.
It is utterly ridiculous.
FT Yan or Jan, don't know which, with a picture of Xi Jinping with a Chinese flag behind him and also yassified. If you haven't seen yet, Dropsite News dropped a Steve Bannon interview with Jeffy Eppy. Yeah, I've seen it. It looks incredibly boring. There's a bit about like dark money. Oh, fuck. My whole stream has fallen to pieces. I can't go on Twitter. Is Twitter down or no? Twitter must be down because I'm not having issues on other stuff. Thanks for the $5 again. Don't worry, I've got other stuff. No, I'm not going to ban you. You don't need to, mediocre. You don't need to be here. It's probably not going to be that big a stream. I'm just going to quickly. Don't feel obliged to be here. I mean, yeah, I thought that video would never see the light of day, and right now I think it's on YouTube, right? Actually, so I could pull that up. Wait, is X working? Am I banned on X? I don't know. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I'm really sad because Elon had some banger tweets. Hello, everyone. I am live on YouTube right now, covering the Epstein files, covering Elon Musk, covering Bill Gates. Oh, I've done that wrong. Hello, everyone. I am live right now on YouTube covering the Epstein files. We're going to be talking about Keir Starmer and how he's been protecting a creep, and all of the UK political establishment have been doing exactly the same thing and preventing information emerging about Peter Mandelson, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Jill... oh, fuck. I'm not doing it well. Hi, everyone. Hi. This is the most you've seen me do this over and over again. Hello everyone, I am currently live on YouTube and I will be covering the Epstein files releases. We're going to be covering Keir Starmer protecting the creep that is Peter Mandelson. We're going to be covering Bill Gates. We're going to be covering Elon Musk. You guessed it, everything is going to be there. Hop into YouTube right now. Or if you're seeing this on... fuck, I'm not having a good time. Hello everyone, I am live... Oh my god, right. One more. Hi everyone, I am live on YouTube right now covering the new Epstein files release. We're going to be talking about Keir Starmer covering for Peter Mandelson. We're going to be talking about Prince Andrew, the creepy new photos of him released. Elon Musk. We're going to be talking about how Jeffrey Epstein was banned from Xbox Live. It's all going to be there. His relationships with foreign elites. Come check it out. I'm live on YouTube. If you're seeing this on Instagram, link is here. If you're seeing it on TikTok, link is in the bio. Get in. There we go. That you did just watch the Mona Lisa be painted right now. God, my fucking all of my YouTube recommendations. I have become addicted to Minecraft YouTube Shorts. I haven't played Minecraft in years. I do have a soft spot for Minecraft.
It is utterly ridiculous.
What do you mean, former Chilean finance minister and a Croatian Chilean mogul? Were they also implicated in the Epstein files? Thanks for the 5,500, Thomas. Were they implicated too in the Epstein files? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Everyone's in the fucking Epstein files. Literally, so many people are in it. Mehdi Hassan is in the Epstein files because Epstein was sent like a debate by Mehdi Hassan. YouTube is being linked. Sorry about this. Jesus. Also, I mean, there's other stuff which I think I'll probably cover I'll cover maybe tomorrow because this is like more of a bonus stream. And to be honest, I will say, trying to navigate the Epstein files is really, really hard because there's so much shit come out. And especially when Twitter has gone down. Elon Musk has had to take down Twitter because he knew I was about to go based mode. Yeah, did you not know? Have you not seen? Apparently, oh my god. Because like, I'm not gonna lie, this is obviously gonna be a pretty heavy stream, but there will be a little bit of light relief mixed in once Twitter's back up, because there's obviously this like major part of like, hey, in the Epstein files, Epstein got banned from Xbox Live. Yeah, I've seen all of these right wingers saying that like Zoran Mamdani is more connected to Epstein than Trump is, and it's like, Trump was his best friend, my guy. In my bio. Your story. Look at this. I'm getting so good at uploading shit on my Instagram. Also, gonna start making TikToks again soon. No TikTok lives though, I promise. Semi-Zero Gravity. What did Semi-Zero Gravity ask? Chris, have you ever played Disco Elysium? Might be cool to see you do a playthrough. It's apparently not a very good stream game, people were saying, but I would love to play it. A few of my friends are always on about it. I've been playing Elden Ring a bit recently. I've been enjoying that so much. I haven't played it in years. I played it like near when it came out, but yeah. Shooting stuff is so disgusting. What's the officer involved shooting stuff? I don't know what that is. Yeah, the pedos don't even want Elon. Well, Elon's probably just incredibly boring. Well, I guess to start off the stream whilst Twitter reloads, we're gonna have to do like some other stuff. So, I mean, first of all, I wanted to watch I was hoping to do other stuff first, but unfortunately, I've got like a lot of my Epstein stuff through Twitter, obviously, like through people and like checked it out and sourced it and stuff. But it's pretty unfortunate, the timing. But we'll check out CoffeeZilla because he's got a good video on this. I mean, I don't know what CoffeeZilla does generally. I don't know his political leanings, but I will say his stuff on the Epstein files is pretty good. And it's so funny to like contrast this with the BBC, who are just like, yeah, there's nothing significant in it.
The FBI just dropped 3.5 million files, and it is incredible. Huge bombshells about some of the most powerful...
Once again, by the way, do you see like the power of Trump that people want to... that people just want to impersonate him? That was a little Trump impersonation there, it feels like.
Powerful people on the planet. I can't believe they let some of this stuff out. I mean, it is stunning. Honestly, one of the biggest lies we've seen is the idea that the FBI could...
The TrueAnon episode is going to be great. I mean, the TrueAnon episode will be great, but I feel like, once again, they fall under the same problem of, like, the Epstein files now are so broad, so massive, with so much information in, that it's really, really hard to actually, like, condense them, that there's just so much shit in them. Oh, I think we might be seeing slight backup of Twitter. I don't know. Looks like it's slightly up. Let me have a look. Hold on. Nah, yes. Okay, wait. We don't have to start watching CoffeeZilla's video yet. Nice. Okay, we'll do that in a bit, because I'd rather do some of my own stuff before we talk about any of this stuff. Left-leaning, same leaning as secular talk. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he did detail crypto scams well. I want Loot Crate. Yeah, okay, right. So... the Epstein files, aside from all of the horrendous stuff, included this, which was Jeffrey Epstein Vacation, JEE Vacation, which is Jeffrey Epstein's email, and he basically, from Microsoft, got an email saying that he got banned from Xbox Live in 2013. And the reason he got banned was for harassment, threats, and or abuse. This email is to notify you that Xbox Live... Okay, right, we know that anyway. Why we enforce the conduct that causes suspicion may include, but is not limited to, threats of death, harm, property damage, or any other act of violence or vandalism, verbal abuse, or profanity directed at other players, griefing. How are you getting banned from Xbox Live? Do you think he blew up someone's Minecraft world? He also seemingly may have done extortion or manipulation, libel, defamation, or slander, display or transmission of personally identifiable information such as names, address, phone number, or IP address, stalking. Wouldn't surprise me if it was one of these ones, that Jeffrey Epstein spoke to one of his little creepy hacker friends who he normally used to suppress, you know, getting away with serious crimes, to basically just be like, hey, can you find out who this kid is that keeps killing me on Call of Duty? You have to wonder, for you Americans, you know, did any of you ever play with this guy? Did you ever play with him? Maybe it was for using gamer words. But I do have to say, like, a lot of people were claiming that. But, like, I mean, I used to be a big Xbox Live intro at this kind of time. The things people would say and get up to in, like, Call of Duty lobbies was insane. I'm sure many of you who played Black Ops 2 remembered the emblem creation thing, where you could just, like, make anything with the emblems. And so maybe Epstein was fiddling around with those and doing creepy stuff, or maybe he was using Minecraft as a means to meet victims or something. I don't know. But whatever he was doing, Epstein was indeed banned from Xbox Live. And it's really annoying because there's actually a tweet that I saw earlier. Oh, yes. You look at this. Someone called Julia_Ep, who writes in The Nation, Dissent Mag, and The New Republic, said, not sure what his gamer tag is, but Jeffrey Epstein had an Xbox Live account. So, years before this was ever posted... years before this was ever confirmed, someone found that Jeffrey Epstein did indeed have an Xbox Live account. So I am inclined to believe that this was true. But Jeffrey Epstein's gaming career does not actually end there. And generally the weird things in his files don't end there, that are just like bizarre oddities. He also wanted to bring microtransactions into Call of Duty. Here he is saying, Bobby Kotick, who I believe is the former Activision CEO, said, X Prize is a good idea, but key is real-world rewards. Learn to read equals ARN cell phone minutes, iPhone credits, virtual items in-game. And then Epstein replies, I'm all for indoctrinating kids into the economy. You gotta love how his equals example for real world rewards is virtual items in games. Pablos. So he was, so Pablos Herman was sending this to Jeffrey Epstein. So wait. Someone claimed that, Epstein was someone who was, oh, I suppose Epstein had already been talking about this. Oh, okay. And then this is this Pablos Holman. Who is Pablos Holman? Let's have a look. I assume Pablos Holman, was saying, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Oh my God. Look at it. I don't know if it's 100% the same guy, but it does feel like it could be. Interview of the week. Pablos Holman, deep tech investor. Look at this guy. Look at those glasses, bro. What are you doing? Get better glasses. But yeah, Epstein was obviously a pervert, but he also wanted to scam kids better. Hold on. There's another one of him talking to the Activision CEO, but hold on, what's his name? Okay, yeah, anyway, that's that topic. There's also one more, which is Epstein may have been a Pokemon Go enjoyer. Maybe he was playing with Hillary Clinton, we'll never know. He said this to Fahad bin Hamad. Hold on. Fahad bin Hamad. So this Fahad bin Hamad Al Thani is the second oldest child of the former Emir of Qatar, Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. So he's a pretty prominent individual. And Epstein said, check out Pokemon Go if you have not already, equals C2. What emoji is that? The first of augmented games. You know what, actually? I don't think this pertains to Pokemon Go. I think this pertains to something slightly different. He's probably talking about how AR might be used for something problematic if he's talking to a member of the Qatari royal family about this. Jesus. This man really led a bizarre life. It is really odd having access to all of these guys' emails. Pokemon Go to Epstein's Island. Pokemon Go to the Pedo Island. I mean, you're making jokes. You're laughing, but Hillary Clinton was inviting Jeffrey Epstein. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just pull up what I'm looking for. I didn't save this, actually. Okay, I can't... No, yeah, look at this, sorry. Oh no, this is Howard Lutnick. Epstein was invited to a Clinton fundraiser by Howard Lutnick. I would like to invite you to attend a very intimate fundraiser event with Hillary Clinton from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Cantor Fitzgerald offices. So Epstein was, like, being invited by Howard fucking Lutnick.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Probably played Kingdom of Hearts 2, if you can spot the pattern. I've never played Kingdom of Hearts, so unfortunately I can't. Ugh. I wonder if his island has a gym. Well, yeah, thanks for the 5,500 again, Thomas. Incredibly kind donation. Wasn't Ghislaine at Chelsea's wedding? Yeah, she was, I believe. I mean, look, it's very clear from these files that a lot of these people were very, very, very close to... were very, very close to Epstein. I mean, the biggest one is really Peter Mandelson from the UK. Because Peter... Well, no, actually, it's not. For the UK, I think it's probably Prince Andrew. And the final... Like, there's obviously a lot of odd things in here. But there's an incredibly odd thing of him wanting to establish the equivalent of Hollywood for Somalia. So... Here you have Epstein talking about this. Hold on. Read my post above. Vile, strange man. What post? I don't know what post. Oh, don't forget he spent his last few days sharing Five Nights at Freddy's smart. Oh, I saw this. I didn't have a chance to look into this. Obviously, I was busy. Have you seen the emails about Jewish supremacy, eugenics, and designer babies? He also seemed obsessed with DNA. His friend's 21andMe and test was such a weirdo. Yeah, I mean, sorry, yeah, it's a Somaliland, not a Somalian equivalent. I mean, yeah, I know Jeffrey Epstein, but, like, Jeffrey Epstein, to be honest, was just, like, a pretty crazy racist guy. Like, I have no doubt that he believed in, like, race science. And I think we knew that. He had conversations with some German race scientists from the previous ones, but yeah, there is a lot of weird shit in there. And no doubt spending time around a lot of, like, significant Israeli politicians, there's no doubt that some of them do hold those beliefs. I'm not actually saying that that's entirely what undergirds the Zionist project, but there are definitely some people amongst the power who are in power in Israel who do think and feel like that. I mean, Ben Gvir is a perfect example. Okay, here's Stephen Sinofsky being sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein. We should talk to the boys in LA about this. So this is to Sinofsky, someone redact. Why are these people redacted, by the way? Definitely not a victim of Epstein. We should talk to the boys in LA about this. What if we put together a small group that professionalize the African film industry? There is currently a small movement called Nollywood in Nigeria, and the big boss there is a YGL. She was telling me how hard it was since no one knew how to do film. But we could build a small studio in Somaliland and call it Somaliwood Studios. Imagine the cool filming, beaches, deserts, etc. We could invite Muslim and all sorts of groups to film there. Muslim, all sorts of groups. We would make it a part of the mission to not allow anything immoral to be filmed there. Yeah, you probably are right. The boys in LA are fucking Kevin Spacey, the Tel Aviv tap dancer. That's what Kevin Spacey's up to. And yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Sorry for those who missed Kevin Spacey's snazzy performance in Tel Aviv.
Right across the cell.
I'm sad I missed this. Who's going to the Kevin Spacey? Are you guys not aware of this? This was such a stupid tweet. Sorry for those who missed Kevin Spacey's snazzy performance in Tel Aviv. He was obsessed with DNA, and he had the sex farm in Mexico. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look into that. I was kind of like, every time that this happens, it's like, Jesus, there is so much to kind of go through and so much to filter through. And then my mind is just filled with this video of Kevin Spacey tap dancing in Tel Aviv. God, this guy was like one of the world's most famous actors for a while, and now he's fucking tap dancing in Tel Aviv. Dr. Jebra Fauski. Also, by the way, how do people buy that this is like a real account? Is this a real account? Is Jebra Fauski a real person? Fauci? Jebra Fauci. I don't think this is a real person. Like, why do you have a profile picture that looks like this? Ugh. I mean, to be fair, going to see the Kevin Spacey dance in Tel Aviv sounds fucking epic. I didn't even know. The Woke Observer Substack. Bro, I also don't believe that enough of these people are actually reading any of this shit. Okay, right, I'll just finish this up here. This is interesting. Could do like Sesame Street type stuff, children's programming, etc. for African kids. They have serious tech ability there. Could put together a CGI facility that would rival any. I'm copying Jeffrey since he might also think this would be fun. Movies are a lot like products. It is astonishing that so many of the richest people in the world are just getting up to shit like this are so incredibly stupid. Saying stuff like movies are like products, and yet you're meant to believe that this is a meritocracy, and that like, oh yeah, oh, all these people are geniuses who deserve all the money they have. Yeah, okay. Movies are a lot like products. What does that even mean? Ugh. It's also, by the way, it's also really interesting because I think one thing you could say about Jeffrey Epstein is Jeffrey Epstein died well before the world that he was interested in seeing emerge actually came to fruition. Because, like, Epstein really, really was interested in AI, like the kind of mass surveillance systems, and obviously there are many people who were, but it feels like just before they hit their big break. I mean, Epstein probably would have been unbelievably wealthy had he carried on. Like, that's what he was doing with Ehud Barak. Gotta be code. Too stupid to make sense any other way. I don't even know if it is code. I mean, I think I don't know. Maybe it was code. I think Epstein just liked getting involved in anything and everything and just doing whatever he could.
Dirty money?
He's very weird as well. Like, the Bannon interview, I'm not going to watch a whole 2-hour interview of him and Bannon, but this interview of, like, watching him speak is bizarre.
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
Why is it not dirty money?
because I earned it, a heart.
But you earned it.
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned.
I've heard him speak before, but I don't know.
Yes.
You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
Do you think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think about, ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for...
It's really interesting because many of you probably wouldn't know, but this is exactly how Jimmy Savile justified what he did. Jimmy Savile was a hugely successful fundraiser for charity, probably, like, relative to his wealth, actually far more successful than Jeffrey Epstein was. And, like, Jimmy Savile undeniably had, like, was incredibly successful at raising money and building, for example, the spinal trauma center in the UK, in the Stoke Mandeville Hospital. But it doesn't change anything. He's like a horrendous character. And the reason I think you might think he looks like AI is because you only ever see him in AI.
Vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people with their money.
If we walked in, you're
is
a
that a fair
mathematician.
question?
You're a mathematician. If we walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Jesus Christ. What is a tier 1 sexual predator? Like, how do you qualify for that? A tier 1 sexual offender? What is a tier 1? A tier 1 is someone convicted of a lower level sex offense. That is incredible that he was convicted of that. And I think also, Bannon asked that because he knew that he was going to be, that he knew that Jeffrey Epstein knew that he was much higher. Let's see when he answers that. Let's look at his face and analyze. I'm a body language expert. Was Jeffrey Epstein lying here?
In sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Tier 1's the highest and worst?
No,
I'm the lowest.
I'm the lowest.
Yeah, he no doubt used those hospitals and used the charity to engage in his crimes. But what I'm saying is, and Jeffrey Epstein seemingly did exactly that too, by the way, that some of his charity work and philanthropy may have been involved in that.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities, do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you
See,
told them,
if
I told them
100%.
the devil
Himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
He has, someone said that he has like a very strong kind of like New York accent, which is where he grew up, right?
Think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember, the devil is
Was
somebody
the devil
knows
smart?
it.
I don't think Jeffrey Epstein is that smart, by the way. He doesn't come across as that in any way.
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the.
I can see why Bannon didn't release this. He's not speaking very well.
Number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay, we have to go.
Okay, good. Okay.
They were like best friends as well. It's a very unusual interview. Very, very, very unusual interview. By the way, I couldn't find anything about Epstein allegedly having ties to Jimmy Savile. This is an old video of Epstein being asked about having an egg-shaped penis.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
He does sound like he has the same sort of accent, just speaking more softly, and this was a lot of years before.
Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped...
Oh, he ends there. Oh, that's sad that we don't get to see the...
Would you raise your hand, please? Do you solemnly swear?
Yes, ma'am. Beach, New York.
Would you please state your full name?
I'm Jeffrey Edward Epstein, and my residence address is 6100 Red Hook Boulevard in...
I think, I don't know, like, I find it hard to judge and stuff, and yeah, Jeffy Eggy. I mean, I don't know, I find it hard to judge, but it does sound like it could well be his accent.
Virgin Islands.
Do you maintain any other residences presently?
I have vacation homes in New Mexico, Palm Beach, New York, and Paris.
Have you ever been convicted
for prostitution?
Paris?
How many?
Recess? No, sir. Cooper Union.
And did you get a degree from Cooper Union?
No, sir.
Jeffrey Eggpeen.
How many years were you in college?
I believe 2.
What'd you study?
Physics.
Well, isn't it true that you were a teacher at the Dalton School in New York after college? It's just unheard of. It's just an unbelievable scheme to have kept going. Underage minor females. Mr. Epstein, how long have you been...
You guys are right. It does feel weird hearing him actually talk, because obviously, like, his reputation precedes him, and you feel like, I don't know, I didn't think he would have this voice. Like, I've heard him speak in a couple of clips before, but yeah.
Actually attracted to underage minor females.
Objection, harassing, argumentative. Are you kidding?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm divulging any secrets here, right?
Move to strike.
Mr. Epstein, were you sexually abused as a minor?
Wait, again?
Were you sexually abused as a minor?
You know, I'd like to respond to all your, if any, questions seem to be relevant, but I would like to respond to any relevant question at this time. However, my attorneys have counseled me that I cannot.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it really as AI. I'm not that convinced. He has a very strong accent, which I have not noticed. It actually makes me feel strange because he sounds so normal/local, not an international criminal. Yeah, you're right. Like, but also, I guess because then, what does an international criminal sound like? What does like the world's most famous sex trafficker and sex offender actually sound like? It's really hard to know. I don't think any of us really know because there's no other precedent. There is no other. I mean, I guess like with Jimmy Savile looks incredibly weird. Like Jimmy Savile does actually look like someone who is like, you know, like creep. Whereas Jeffrey Epstein just looks like a normalish rich guy. Like, you know, apparently his egg peen didn't, but I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Fuentes is defending this guy. Yeah, I mean, I saw all of these people arguing on Twitter. I don't know. Of course they are. Like, yeah. Okay, right. What did I want to start with? Actually, you know what? We're gonna do, because you guys don't listen to me talk about British politics enough. One of the most damning things in this fucking file are the photographs of Prince Andrew, which are just like, this is just bizarre. This is just so unusual. By the way, you can't discern how old someone is. Some people look young when they're older and stuff, but
it is utterly ridiculous.
He sounds like Sidney Pollock's character in Eyes Wide Shut. I don't remember who is Sidney Pollock. Eyes Wide Shut. Pollock. Eyes Wide Shut. Oh, yeah, he does a little bit. You're right. Hold on, I need to blow my nose again. Oh, I haven't blown my... It's just, this image is just so incredibly weird. What the fuck is that photo? Have you not seen this? This is Prince Andrew, like, over a girl who's been redacted. It's really, 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 really creepy. But yeah, also, so these are messages in 2020, so they're like tips and stuff, and you know, can't 100% say that these tips are true, but I'm gonna be frank here, like, the amount of lies that we've heard from the federal government, the amount of lies that we've heard from people around Epstein who knew Epstein, it is very obvious that there are a huge amount of co-conspirators in this. It is very obvious that they got up into some grotesque and barbaric things. And so this notion that they may not have been doing this kind of stuff is insane. Like, is insane to sort of dismiss this as just like, it's nothing more than conspiracy. Oh, come on. But yeah, right, so here we go. Friday the 2nd of October, 10:46, this is the first one. Back in the 90s, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited a girl for a modeling career. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a sex slave for sex and torture. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death, as he tortured her and me to force her murder. I need to get a passport to identify her. I will need someone to contact the passport office to get an expedited passport. Text blank blank redacted. Is that the guy who doesn't sweat? I've heard he doesn't sweat. I've heard he has no ability to sweat. He's a very normal guy. He called me wanting me to give him a secure email address. He is from redacted. The number that came up is redacted. Wendy, no problem at all to include me on Epstein/Maxwell notifications going forward, but I wanted to let you know that because of my unit move, the office has transitioned me off the case and added redacted, so if you wouldn't mind including her on any notifications, please, thank you, and I hope that you're alright, doing alright these days, given all the circumstances. It's just like unbelievable. It's genuinely unbelievable. And I mean, that picture on its own is bad enough, right? But like, one thing I want to say about like any of this shit involving Prince Andrew, any of this stuff, what you have to realize is like all of these like elites, especially the royal family, and royal company, that's all it is, will have private investigators, intelligence agencies checking people who they are friends with. the notion that, you know, Prince Andrew was able to meet with a sex offender and other significant senior royals were not told, hey, Andrew is hanging around a sex offender, someone with this past, someone who we've heard reports has been up to even more depraved stuff, because people will have known what he was up to. I don't believe otherwise. And they kept letting him do this is insane. But yeah, these are the photos of him. It's just weird. It's just weird. He was like touching women's breasts with a puppet of himself from Spitting Image as well. This is it, by the way. This is the puppet he used to grope women. Yeah. The Queen protected him for years too, which allowed him to carry on with this shit, and Charlie probably was aware of his brother's crimes too. Yeah, I think it extends. I think all of them were. I think the Queen knew, and she loved them, and all of this stuff. It's unbelievable. But this is the Spitting Image puppet. So it's actually from that show. If you've ever seen I've Never Met a Nice South African, that's what it's from. Which used to be quite a good political satire, but now. Well, I didn't see enough of it. It has some quite biting political satire from back in the day, but now it's not so. I didn't think it was really biting, or I didn't watch it this time. But like older stuff seems quite interesting. Yeah, kind of crazy that the media decided to focus on this stuff. Well, I mean, it's also incredible that people are like, oh yeah, this isn't that significant a news story. The BBC's reporting on this was insane. I'll show you it in a second. But like, there's stuff like this. To the Duke. The Duke is what Prince Andrew went by. So 27th September 1534. Okay. Already in London. What time would you like me? And we will also need to have private time. Me and Redacted we will also need to have. That's such a short redaction. Who is that? I wonder if that's a victim. I wonder if that's someone who's famous with a really, really shortly, tiny identifiable name, because that looks really short for a victim's name, right? Okay, to the Duke. Oh, I'm just departing to Scotland. Should be down by 1800 hours. Not writing 6 p.m. is proof of how much of a dick this guy is. I'll ring you when I get down. If you can give me a number to ring. Alternatively, we could have dinner at Buckingham Palace and lots of privacy. To the Duke. Buckingham Palace, please. Why is the chat different from the one on screen? Is the chat different from the one on screen? It shouldn't be. I don't think it is. I don't know. Can you show the Spitting Image skit of Yitzhak Rabin? No, because it's BBC. It'll be copyrighted, so no, I can't show it. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty notable that he had all of these relations with people. That Epstein was invited to Buckingham Palace. That he was allowed to go. So you want us to believe they're gonna? And also, by the way, this is throwing Andrew under the bus. Like, obviously, Andrew deserves to be thrown under the bus. Like, I'm not in any way saying Prince Andrew's a good guy, right? Like, but what I am saying is this is a way larger problem, because please explain to me how allegedly intelligence agencies didn't know that Prince Andrew was up to this kind of stuff. That Prince Andrew was somehow just like no one knew what he was like. That for years, he was just friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a known pedophile. And I just don't doubt, that like someone this senior maybe look, a lot. I don't believe every conspiracy. I don't know. I haven't seen much evidence that they necessarily sacrificed kids, but like the notion that they may have killed someone when, already like people who work in sex work exist at the fringes of society, and it seemed a lot of it was trafficking women from places like Russia who probably didn't speak language, who probably didn't speak any English, who didn't have any contact, and probably came from very poor parts of Russia and may not have even been able to contact their family members. Perhaps you end up in a
It is utterly ridiculous.
perhaps you end up in a kind of situation where I don't think even perhaps you end up in a situation where heinous things can happen to people and it can be taken away, especially when you consider how powerful, how rich these people were. Like, he's the fucking prince. He's the prince and a significant person in the UK. Access to young girls is the entire point of Epstein. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Are they voting on Trump's impeachment? I haven't heard anything about that. Same way the Duke of York gave up France to the Nazis. Yeah, the British royal family being dicks. What a new one. Thanks again, Thomas, for the 5,500 pesos. Whose first girlfriend was a porn star? They're cannibals. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Yeah, I haven't seen much evidence that they are cannibals, but Jesus. Like, I don't doubt that they killed people, that they disappeared people. In fact, I really do believe that that was true. Hold on, there's an image here. Like, that they killed and disappeared people, that people were scared to speak up because of, like, potentially having violence inflicted on them. Hold on, here's another recent exchange. I haven't actually seen, like, most of the Andrew stuff has been, like, pretty focused on, like, that kind of stuff. So this is apparently an exchange between G. Max and the Invisible Man, who we know is Prince Andrew, by the way, confirmed. So, G. Max to Prince Andrew. Andrew, sweetheart, I fully understand if you want to spend time with Sarah and the kids. I will not be remotely offended. Sad not to spend time with you. And sad... Sorry, can you see this? No. Hold on. Not to spend time with you. And sad not to see you. But at this point, with precious holidays... Sorry, excuse me. Hold on. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm just going to read it, actually. You know what? I'll just read it, because there's no way without hiding my camera, which causes issues when I hide it. So, hold on. What do you think about Hassan streaming on YouTube? Did you catch his first big... No, I was busy on Friday night. I was recording No Politic here for ages. I mean, good for Hassan. I think people should stream on this platform. I think that people should, and I don't care. Like, Hassan, you know... Every time Hassan goes live, there's a drop in my viewer base. I don't think that matters, whatever platform I'm going to be on. Many people know me from Hassan. Many people watch me and were introduced to me because of Hassan. I think that, like, him being on this platform is good, and I think he should move on to it, because I think that you're free to do a lot more stuff. So, sorry, I'll just get back to this, though. But good for him. Like, I met Kneecap's manager, and I asked him, I was like, oh, were you with Hassan recently? And he was like, yeah, I was with Hassan. He was on the same panel as me. And I was like, oh, nice. What did you think? And he said he's a very nice man. And I tend to, like, look, I guess none of you have actually, like, I don't know if any of you have spoken or interacted with him ever. He is like a really amiable guy, I will say. A very nice man and kind. Good. He deserves, like, I'm glad he got a million views. What is the likelihood of striking Iran? Impossible to predict. Looked much higher on Friday. He usually gets 40k to 50k. But I like that you stream early in the morning for me. Good. The only problem is when I'm in Canada, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I might, when I'm in Canada next time, I want to keep making content. So it may be like written stuff. It may be like a daily video to keep you guys engaged and keep you watching, those who want to. Like a daily video talking about the news rather than, you know, a big stream, because it's just not working. Right, sorry, I'll carry on with this. So this is Ghislaine to Andrew. Sorry. Andrew, sweetheart, I fully understand if you want to spend time with Sarah and the kids. I will not be remotely offended. Sad not to spend time with you and sad not to see you. But at this point, with precious holidays and a few days off, I agree that this idea of coming to the island looks less appealing. Both Redacted and Philip, and now possibly Doug again, are rejigging their dates. Who knows? I'll call you later, or you can call me. My direct. Darling, my apologies for not ringing you back, but have been very busy. As you surmise, I will not now come. If you don't mind, as I would love to spend this valuable time with the kids, I will ring you later and we can chat. Masses of love. A. Jesus. Okay, this is from Ghislaine to Andrew. No problem. Redacted, who is now coming, and 5 other stunning redheads, all just to have to play with ourselves. Just kidding, Redacted is coming, and instead of staying the whole time on the island, I will now go back to PB for part of the weekend. I shall miss you. I love you lots. Ghislaine. Okay, now here he is talking about his time with some Rothschilds. I assume it's who says masses of love? Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. They seem to have been very close friends. Wait, is Hassan in Qatar? Someone just said. Oh yeah, apparently Hassan's in Qatar right now. I don't know why. But yeah, do an Austin Powers impression. I've never seen Austin Powers. I am very sad at not coming to join you, but I am so glad to be able to see more of my kids that the compensation is justified. But whatever, I love you, and am longing to see you when either you or I are in the same part of the world. Jeffrey Epstein, by the way, did not at all love Ghislaine Maxwell. Andrew, it seems, was in love with her, but was also a pervert interested in young women. So how that was, I don't know. For your information, I will be coming to New York on 16th of September and staying 2 nights with Rothschild, then going on to Aspen, and then returning to Philadelphia and places east until 29th, then back to the UK for a couple of days, before going to Croatia and the Gulf states, followed by Jordan, and back to London on the 15th of October. Now, I have a little thing to tell you here. The 15th of October 2002 was my 2nd birthday, so that's a little fact for you. I will then be coming to New York on that Friday, the 19th, for a dinner on the Monday evening, and then getting back up to London on the Tuesday. So look forward to catching up with you before you disappear to some exotic places, and please don't catch anything nasty on your travels. Masses of love and thanks, Andrew. Very odd way to type, very odd emails. What he was doing with some Rothschild, I don't know. Yeah, just seems like, I don't know, this guy is an atrocious individual. But yeah, I want to show you how the news is covering this in the UK. This is like, bro, this is insane. You guys have got to see this. This is how the news is covering it.
Pictures appearing to show Andrew Mountbatten Windsor crouched over an unidentified woman are featured in the...
Yeah, the invisible man is Andrew. It's already been confirmed, and it's just 100% this.
Latest disclosure of files linked to the late American sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The images are among more than 3 million documents published by the Trump administration. It's not known where they were taken. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor has been asked for comment, but he hasn't responded. He's previously denied any wrongdoing. The US Justice Department said this was the final...
By the way, how is Prince Andrew just like wandering around free? In any just or moral society, Prince Andrew would have been arrested a long time ago. And, like, not given an option of, oh, maybe you should go and testify. Should have gone over there. No. So, this one about a Russian woman is different. It's not that image.
A batch of material that would be published. John Sudworth has the details.
In and amongst the more than 180,000 images released are these pictures showing the then Prince Andrew kneeling over and touching a female whose identity has been hidden. There's no context, location or date provided. Andrew has always denied any criminal wrongdoing, but this latest batch of files once again contains items raising serious questions of judgment, not least an email.
I cannot believe that they are framing this as like a serious question of judgment. Can you actually... This is British media talking... this is our main flagship media being like, this is still at the point of serious questions of judgment. No, it is not serious questions of judgment. It is unbelievable that this is the way... So I remember the other day someone came in and they were like, oh, it looks like British journalists are pretty hot on stuff. And it's like, sometimes you see better interviews, but this is our main flagship media. Listen to this.
Exchange from 2010, long after his close friend Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted of sexual offences involving children, suggesting he meet with a 26-year-old Russian woman in London who he might enjoy having dinner with. Andrew replies he would be delighted to see her and adds, will she be bringing a message from you? Please give her my contact details to get in touch. Epstein writes back, she's 26, Russian, clever and beautiful, and yes, she has your email.
Wait. Great. Any other information you might know about her that might be useful to know? Like, what have you told her about me, and have you given her my email as well? His Royal Highness, the Duke of York. Jesus Christ. How was this idiot... Also, by the way, once again, Jeffrey Epstein has spelt clever wrong here. Clever, beautiful, trustworthy, and yes, she has your email, which is incredible. But this is just a weird email. Like, how is he signing this shit off? And you're telling me that no intelligence agency bothered to look into this. Okay, bro.
Yes, she has your email.
We will continue reducing.
The new files also contain...
By the way, this is who we're going to get into next, and I'm going to probably release a video about this, because this is even more insane. So if you don't know who this is Lord Peter Mandelson. And Lord Peter Mandelson was a Starmer's ambassador to... he was Starmer's ambassador to the US, so that's why there's this photo of him with Vance and Trump and sort of weird, creepy guy over here. Don't know who he is. Anyway, the stories about him are insane. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Further revelations about Peter Mandelson, who last year lost his job as British ambassador to Washington after it became clear his friendship with Epstein had been deeper than previously known. They include the claim that the sex offender sent Lord Mandelson's then partner, now husband, Ronaldo Avila da Silva, £10,000 to cover the cost of an osteopathy course. Lord Mandelson has described his friendship as a most terrible mistake and says he wasn't aware of Epstein's crimes.
Also, why is he getting 10 grand off Epstein? That's weird in the first place, because I feel like he could easily cover that for his boyfriend.
There's little, though, to pose a real threat to President Trump, apart from some unsubstantiated allegations which the FBI had already ruled out, nor his...
This is BBC! This is BBC! I don't know if they're towing the line because of him trying to sue them already, but, like, I'm sorry, even if these are unsubstantiated, they're pretty fucking significant, the stuff that is in them. And also, I do not believe that we should just dismiss all of these people as like, oh, uncredible, as just untrustworthy and all of this shit. Do not believe that is in any way how we should be treating this when we consider the power of the people, the money of the people who are involved in this case. And that the FBI didn't do more to investigate this. There's not even there's no one's in jail apart from Ghislaine Maxwell.
Administration says anything to prove a wider conspiracy. But with so
nothing to prove a wider conspiracy.
So many documents withheld or redacted, Jeffrey Epstein's victims do not believe they've yet been given the whole truth.
When the president signed the bill in November, it was to release all the files. All the files need to be released. They haven't been released. So that's what closure looks like. That's what justice looks like, whether anyone's prosecuted or not. Get the full information out there so the public, the survivors, and everyone can really know what's going on.
With continuing calls for him to give evidence in America, Andrew Mountbatten...
It's kind of incredible. He actually fought in the Falklands War, so I was about to say he's never had a job, so he has had, like, a small semblance of a job. But I think that, like, I think that the thing for me is that, like, this guy just gets to wander around with the prestige that he's always had. Sure, they strip him of his titles. They took away his guns, and GB News did, like, a sad a sad thing for him about how he'd lost his guns. But like, still, he gets to wander around. He gets to live his life basically off considerable wealth that he no doubt still has, without facing any accountability. When he was involved with this sex offender, meeting Russian women who no doubt wanted nothing to do with some creepy old weirdo beyond Jeffrey Epstein being like, "Go do it. Have some. Here's some money. Oh, he'll pay you for this."
And Windsor has yet to respond to the latest revelations, but he's always strenuously denied any wrongdoing.
John Sudworth there. Well, the documents also include email correspondence between tech billionaire Elon Musk and Epstein. The new emails show that Musk, who's not been accused of any wrongdoing in the case, discussed travelling to Epstein's island on more than one occasion, including a 2012 trip where he asked Epstein, "What day/night will be the wildest party on your island?" There's no evidence that Mr. Musk ever did end up taking a trip to Epstein's island. Writing on X, he says, "No one pushed harder than me to have the Epstein files released, and I'm glad that has finally happened. I had very little correspondence with Epstein and declined repeated invitations to go to his island or fly on his Lolita Express, but was well aware that some email correspondence with him could be misinterpreted and used by detractors to smear my name." Well, Gloria Allred, a prominent civil rights attorney, represents many...
Did he not fight in the Falklands? I thought he got shot at. That's why he can't sweat, though, John. He can't sweat because he fought in the Falklands and was shot in his helicopter.
Many of Epstein's victims. She gave her reaction to the latest release of files.
Some of them are completely devastated by the fact that the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, was supposed to and indicated that they were redacting victims' names, the survivors' names.
Of course Elon is a clown. Of course Elon also is continuing, seemingly from one of the things released from this Epstein stuff was, basically Epstein was, Epstein was working to sow disinfluence, to push like right-wing conspiracy theories. There was actually stuff of him and Bannon discussing how you would do this. He was a powerful person, and seemingly, right, Ghislaine Maxwell had a humongous Reddit account. So, and like the things that this guy was getting involved in are really things that throughout the, especially over the last 6, 7, 8 years, and in fact actually just over the last 2 to 3 years, like this kind of like AI tech surveillance shit have really come up even more to prominence, So like I do not doubt that he was engaged in this culture war shit, and Musk is now the biggest pusher of that and bought a platform to do it.
And yet today, with the release of these more than 3 million files, many of the names of my clients who have been Jane Doe for many, many years were in fact published. And this is devastating to them, and we have to deal with that.
Is that actually Michael Jackson with Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, I assume it is. I assume he's not with a Jackson impersonator.
Because, they had little or no trust in the government. Now they have no trust in the government because the government has not earned that trust. And the Assistant Attorney General today, Todd Blanche, in his press conference said...
Also, when I was debating Lonabox about the Camp David summit, it's fair to say that, like, whatever you want to say and make all of your stupid claims about it that was actually the Palestinians' fault, you are taking the word of two people who had close personal relationships and seemingly were well aware of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing over Yasser Arafat, the good moral Yasser Arafat, who did not have a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, whereas Ehud Barak and Bill Clinton both loved Epstein.
That he hopes that the release of the files will bring closure to the victims. This is ridiculous because they have devastated so many of these survivors by publicly...
Why do the BBC keep showing this photo? This photo of Michael Jackson is too distracting.
Releasing their names. At best, it was a sloppy job. At worst, it smacks of a cover-up.
Gloria Allred there with me.
This is perhaps where it gets the most crazy, this one. Love from Johannesburg. Thanks, man. Love from the UK.
Our correspondent John Sudworth. John, a number of questions from this, but first of all, the administration indicating this is the final batch. Is that likely to be the case?
That's what they're saying, that they have complied with the law, which was that they release all relevant files, except for a few exceptions for legal reasons or to protect the identities of the victims. But they say this is pretty much it. What's interesting, Geeta, I think in some ways this story is now playing bigger in the UK than it is in the US.
Bro, come on, playing bigger in the UK than it is in the US. Are you fucking serious? This is obviously such a big story. Why are you working to downplay it? Like, at all? Like, why at all? They're like, oh, like, even just look at this. Fucking Chuck Schumer. Jeffrey Epstein said, I have dinner with Schumer tonight. Like, I have no doubt that comes from his connections to the Clintons and stuff. But just on this topic, like, saying that this is not, like, a significant story in America, that it's not playing that big over there. What? And he justifies it in a second. Oh, wait, here is justification.
Some US news sites I noticed not even leading on this story this morning. And I think that's, of course, because of the involvement of people like Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, Peter Mandelson.
What's on the front Times front page? Is this even true? New York Times front page. Federal courts. What the fuck? It isn't even the front page of the New York Times. That is fucking odd. CNN. It's surely front page of CNN. Oh no, wait, no. He's right, actually. This is.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Oh no. Here's what the Epstein documents say about the Clintons. This is then talking about federal agents. I'm busy baking a cake, so can't chat much. Thanks for the $2. Thanks for making this work. Did you see the drop site dropped the interview? Yeah, I have seen it. I don't think we'll watch all of it. It's very boring. You know what? This just makes it look like it's a fucking cover-up because it's so obvious. Of course Fox News isn't leading with it. Fox News is talking about DHS could always do better. Luxury car scam blows up as husband and wife arrested over high-end raids. Marine veteran unleashes. Hollywood abandons family values through Lord of the Rings re-release. This is quality. Anything. States rare freeze give residents visitors light to grab cold-stunned iguanas. What are the other ones? I guess Washington Post? The only thing... You know what? Let's have a look. The Washington Post isn't leading with it either. You know what? He ain't fucking wrong. But I still think that that's an interesting thing to say because it is obviously humongous news. And I don't think actually we should... I think also it kind of shows you why you cannot base it on the headlines of this stuff. I mean, these people are just involved in cover-ups because we know many people are get involved in this kind of crap. But simultaneously, if you just look at online discourse, it is inflamed with Epstein shit right now. Like, it is actually unbelievable. I actually think that that's kind of really worrying in terms of, like, a cover-up. What's The Guardian saying? The Guardian has a fucking live feed on it, so that's alright. We are witnessing full-blown cover-up. I mean, yeah, this is like a bit of a fucking cover-up. The fact that it's not mainstream news anywhere in the US,
etc.
In any establishment outlet. Excuse me. It's obviously just the most popping fucking story in the world right now.
There are, of course, other high-profile American figures caught up in this latest batch of documents. The Microsoft founder Bill Gates, for example, in what looks like an email that wasn't sent, written by Jeffrey Epstein. The suggestion in these files is that Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease. He has called that suggestion absurd and false, and like everybody involved in this, all strenuously denying any involvement in anything, certainly anything...
It is so evident evident that Jeffrey Epstein, like, it is undeniable at this point that Jeffrey Epstein was engaged in a sex trafficking, in a sex trafficking operation. He categorically was involved in that. The fact that people are like, they're all denying it. It's like when they tell us, oh, Israel denies that it's perpetrating genocide. What the fuck? I don't need to hear that. I'm in the US, it's not popping here. It's niche at best. I think when you're talking about like social media and like the big news reporting accounts, people are talking about it.
Wrong and very definitely nothing criminal. And actually, these files bear that out. We heard Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's involvement in Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease. He has called that suggestion absurd and false, and like everybody involved in this, all strenuously denying any involvement in anything, certainly anything wrong and very definitely nothing criminal. And actually, these files bear that out. We heard Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's personal lawyer and Deputy Attorney General, sort of releasing these latest batch of documents, saying that there is no evidence here of co-conspirators. If there was, he said...
The files do not bear out that there were no fucking co-conspirators. At all. The files do not bear that out at all. This is an insane commentary.
We would be prosecuting those individuals. The trouble with all of this, of course, we were told last year that there were a potential 6 million documents they were looking at. Now we're told they have finished with the release of 3.5 million of them. So somewhere 2.5 million haven't been released. For the Justice Department, they will say that's because they're irrelevant or legally confidential or need to be redacted to protect victims. For those who see conspiracy in any of this, they will say they're being withheld precisely for that reason, to continue the...
I cannot believe that this is treated like a conspiracy at this point. I cannot believe that that they would even have the audacity to use the term of like see conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein was a high-profile sex trafficker hosting what were obviously known to be sex parties for the rich and powerful, where he has regularly talked about sex trafficking women. Like, what is this? With particularly with Jean-Luc Brunel, isn't it? Jean-Luc Brunel. They've talked about like how they would traffic women together. I cannot believe that he's like, the files bear out that there is no conspiracy.
Cover up. And so, of course, I think as much as the Justice Department, as much as the Trump administration wants to draw a line, I think this is very unlikely to do so.
Yeah, we've seen Gloria Allred there saying that, in fact, identities have been released also for the first time, and a call from a lot of those people also for justice.
Yeah, and I also think that seeing conspiracy when everyone's fucking name who he is emailing is redacted. What? Like, genuinely, what?
More material to come out. Do you know whether there's any legal route for them to do that?
Well, you're right, as well.
They've redacted everyone's name who could be a co-conspirator. And by the way, Twitter's back up.
As claiming that an insufficient amount of material has been released, they are also complaining that in the material that has been released, despite the Justice Department saying that it's been very careful and has withheld information precisely to protect their identities, it has gone ahead and done so. I haven't myself seen any documents where their identities have been revealed, but they are very unhappy about that. Legal avenues, very difficult. Ultimately, the law seemed to give the discretion to the Department of Justice to make those decisions about confidentiality and legal issues. But politically, at least, we can be absolutely certain this story isn't over.
John Sudworth, thank you.
This being the level of reporting is like unbelievable. It doesn't bear out conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein's talking about trafficking a woman to fucking Andrew in London. This is why, actually, before we get into Mandelson, I want to watch CoffeeZilla's video. And also, by the way, as well, here's something that was said by Todd Blanche. The BBC is treating this like it's a conspiracy theory. Just listen to Todd Blanche talking here.
Of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
Death, physical abuse, and injury. So that stuff's in the Epstein files and it's been redacted, right? What context does that exist in? Why was Jeffrey Epstein sending people regularly images of death and such? Anyway, let's watch CoffeeZilla, because CoffeeZilla has really yeah, as I said earlier, I've liked his reporting on certain things as well, but he is really it puts something to like the BBC to shame.
The FBI just dropped 3.5 million files, and it is incredible. Huge bombshells about some of the most powerful people on the planet. I can't believe they let some of this stuff out. I mean, it is stunning. Honestly, one of the biggest lies we've seen is the idea that the FBI could possibly come to us and say, not only is there not a client list, there was no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Guys,
This by the way, he debunks this so well in this. Like, look, as I've said, TrueAnon say, like, oh yeah, there's not a specific client list, and I know someone in the chat really doesn't like that. What they argue is that he definitely did sex trafficking to people, but there's no, like, specific list just going, I did sex trafficking to X person, I did sex trafficking to X person. Like, look, I don't doubt that Epstein is an idiot. I mean, he was emailing people very sensitive stuff, but he did regularly say to people about certain things, actually, no, not for email. I think laying out and just writing a list of people that he trafficked to may have been a bridge too far, even for how stupid he was.
we're about to see planned blackmail to one of the most powerful people on the planet, and that is Bill Gates. Listen, there's a lot we're going to get to, but we have to start with probably...
Lord Sigmaroy, you come on, I think you're just a troll. You come on and just, like, complain about vocal fry and me doing, like you said, I kept making a throat noise in one of my videos. I've never seen anyone ever mention that apart from you. I don't know if you're joking or something. I'm just glad my boy Marcus Aurelius wasn't in the files. I knew he had integrity. Thanks, Virtuous Bars, for the $5. Thanks for supporting the channel. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's about the only significant person who wasn't implicated.
The craziest revelation here, which is Jeffrey Epstein emailing himself about Bill Gates. Now, if you don't know, Bill Gates and Epstein had a relationship post 2008. That's a big year. You're going to hear a lot today, because 2008 was the
like. This is the difference, right, between CoffeeZilla and the BBC. We just saw the BBC talking, right, about how we just saw the BBC saying, oh, actually, in the case of Bill Gates, he denies it profusely. But what you could kind of note, what you could talk about, what you could, like, specifically highlight as well and mention as important information is, oh, actually, in this case, Bill Gates broke up with his wife due to a considerable number of affairs and stuff at this time, which is what CoffeeZilla talks about in, like, an actual good video talking about the Epstein files. And this is why CoffeeZilla is pulling in 3 million views, and why someone like Hassan Piker is able to get hundreds of thousands of views whilst being live. And again, these people like the BBC and stuff will eventually die out. Like, the BBC is one of the most visited news sites, make no mistake. But people watching that kind of formal stuff that they still do, I don't. How is that going to last?
Time that Epstein pled guilty for soliciting of somebody under the age of 18. He was a predator at this point. Everybody knew it. Now, eventually, Bill Gates would get divorced when all of this came out. Melinda Gates said it was part of the...
Wait, sorry, there was something I wanted to reference about that. Hold
Gates would get divorced when all of this came...
Like, yeah, once again, just look at this. He's emailing him post being a sex offender. You don't think that there are people who advise Bill Gates and tell him, hey man, this guy is like, you know, you don't want to be associating with Epstein. He's got all of this stuff. He's going to cause problems for you down the line. Stay away from him, seriously. But no, for some reason, Bill Gates decides to build a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It doesn't make sense. And then the BBC's like, yeah, but Bill Gates denies it. And they don't say, it's a bit odd, right, that Bill Gates formed a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. What is it that Jeffrey Epstein had that Bill Gates wanted? oh, we've just seen files of Jeffrey Epstein with vast amounts of young women, talking to people about young women, talking about preferences for height, weight, talking about trafficking women out of Russia, talking about all of these things. But no. Bill Gates denies it. It's okay, you know. There's no wider conspiracy. That's not what the files lay out.
Of somebody under the age of 18. He was a predator at this point. Everybody knew it. Now, eventually, Bill...
Not just everybody... Also, by the way, I don't think everyone knew it, but someone like Bill Gates has... you know, a team around him. He's one of the richest men in the world. Like, it's so insane that people act as if... Yeah, there's no conspiracy here.
Gates would get divorced when all of this came out. Melinda Gates said it was part of the direct cause for the divorce. She said she met Epstein and said he was evil.
He was evil personified.
So you have...
I'm sorry, it's not just that someone said, oh, CoffeeZilla tells the truth, right? It's not just that he tells the truth. This is just better reporting. This is just straight up actually decent reporting. Like saying, here's a piece of context which might be very important for you to know when talking about, you know, Bill Gates and these allegations against him and the things that Jeffrey Epstein was saying. And also, another piece of context which is missed in this video is actually Jeffrey Epstein. Here's my conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein was banned from Xbox Live, okay? That's tough. You know, you don't want to be banned from Xbox Live. Bill Gates, owner of Microsoft, Bill Gates gets Jeffrey Epstein unbanned from Xbox Live. However, he wouldn't actually do it, and so Jeffrey Epstein had to trick him into his sort of sex ring stuff, and that's how it all went wrong for Bill Gates and how Jeffrey Epstein got unbanned.
To understand, this is like Bill Gates' kryptonite. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He's got this huge philanthropy arm, but this relationship with Epstein has been a...
Like, I assume when you're one of the richest men in the world, even if you don't want to get like high class escorts, you have to go somewhere, right? And like, who's the guy with trafficked high class escorts who have, you know, relationships with people like who are paid to have sex and like dates with people like Prince Andrew, who don't talk to the press about it, who don't tell everyone about it? Where'd you go? Jeffrey Epstein.
Huge.
Maybe and some people have other tastes. Some people have more perverted tastes, and Epstein himself seems to have had them, and he seems to have indulged many others in that.
Problem for him, and Epstein appears to have known that, because in 2013, Bill Gates appears to be distancing himself from Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein seems to have a problem with that. He says, I assume the dedication to our relation went both ways. Larry has now asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement. Basically, he's got to shut up about his relationship with Bill Gates. And this is where the blackmail starts, and it comes in the form of like, if I were you, I would do X. If I were the type of guy that...
By the way, as well, Epstein did actually used to send himself lists with people's names on. I remember we covered this a while ago. He used to send himself lists late at night of people like Woody Allen, like loads of other people who are, some of whom are known like perverts, that he would send himself emails about.
You should be. He says, in that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you had your heart set on. In addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract we agreed upon, 30 to 40% of an $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's terms. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. Then he lays out what he has on Bill Gates, or what he says he has.
Like, I actually just cannot believe. Like, obviously, you know, I think True and On are pretty much like, of the people I listen to, they're the gold standard of Epstein reporting, really. They're like fantastic at it. But like, this is really good. Like, just piecing stuff together. It's really good reporting.
Quote, to add insult to injury, you subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implore me to delete the emails I had regarding your STD.
I don't doubt that this, the fact that this is like, look, I can't 100% confirm this. I can't 100% say that this is what Bill Gates is doing, but put these stories together, add some context. Don't just go, oh, Bill Gates denies it. That's not journalism. That's what the BBC do around Israel. It is dog shit reporting. It's dog shit around Israel, and it's dog shit around this. And this is why these organizations are going to fail. Because it's not serious, it's not good, it's not acceptable, it's not moral, it's not justified, it's not in any way reporting that we should just be like, yeah, that's okay, you know, Bill Gates said he didn't do it, so that's it. It's like, why not give us some context and stuff? Makes you wonder if it would have been better if these powerful men just had sugar babies instead of looking for sex from people like Epstein. Yeah, I mean, definitely for certain of these people who are only interested in... But I think also Epstein could indulge an interest and also had such considerable power that over women that he'd manipulated that people kind of viewed it as a way that you were never going to get caught for what you were doing.
Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you could surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your I mean, this is insane. It's completely insane. It's like basically laying out in text form, I would give me millions of dollars, and I can't believe you're asking me to delete the message where you were going to give STD medication to your wife without her knowledge. I mean, it's crazy. It's just completely obvious what he's doing here. It's just a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Here's what you should do. But now that coming out after Epstein's death, this looks really bad for Gates, obviously, because you usually wouldn't blackmail somebody for something that's completely false or fake. I mean, maybe he did that. But we also know Bill Gates had affairs, obviously.
How did Epstein get all of his money? Why was he such a rich individual? You know? There's no conspiracy here, though. No conspiracy.
Melinda credits it for their divorce, so it's hard to believe there was nothing sketchy going.
Like, how is this not mentioned in a BBC report? How do you have to go and watch fucking CoffeeZilla? Like, this is just one guy. I'm sure he has researchers working for him, but how is it that you have to go to someone like CoffeeZilla? Like, of course, people can find this out. People can know this stuff, but like, how is it that like a mainstream outlet isn't like, there are many questions raised by this because, you know, his wife had previously mentioned actually that was a reason for the divorce. When it's put in this context, this is like all provable sourced information. All provable sourced information, you know?
Going on, Bill Gates, of course, maintains that it was completely above board. He says the fact this allegation was in.
It's not good for rich men. You'd be able to perpetrate dynamics like sugar daddy roles because people don't have access to affordable housing, healthcare. It's not good for rich men. What do you mean it's not good for rich men? To be able to perpetrate. I'm not sure I quite understand what you're saying.
Here just shows how much Epstein was willing to
These claims are absolutely absurd and false. The only thing these documents demonstrates is Epstein's frustration that he did not have an ongoing relationship with Gates and the lengths he would go to entrap and defame. I don't know, bro.
Fame people, but Epstein lays it out. He says he helped Bill get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russia.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I find like this reporting much more convincing than a BBC that goes, yeah, there's no conspiracy here. There's no conspiracy here. My parents scoff at the fact that a lot more reputable people have names like CoffeeZilla compared to CBS. Yeah, I mean, mate, you should probably realize that when, you know, CBS is actually run by Barry Weiss and 2 people read her Substack every week. So, you know, you should probably say that that's justifiable, and that's the answer.
Girls facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, and to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. Look, guys.
That's also such a funny bit. Adderall for bridge tournaments. You got bro's geeking up, so he's using peds so he can win at the bridge tournament. Do you think that the coverage is weird because Epstein worked with Israel? Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, Kitty McWhiskers. I think that definitely plays a role, and I think that that's why you've only seen in like the once again, best reporting on this is Dropsite News. Dropsite News is reporting on Epstein and his links to the UAE and stuff isn't conspiratorial. It's like, or like isn't just making leaps. It's really highly researched stuff. It's really succinct stuff that kind of gives you a picture of what Epstein's relationship with Barak was and how Epstein may have never formally worked for Mossad, but he certainly worked alongside very, very senior and significant figures who were related to that kind of stuff, right? Like, you know, who were people who, like Barak, you know, someone who worked with people in the intelligence community, some of whom did still work for Israel, but some of whom retired and were seemingly fulfilling state functions for Israel. I mean, Epstein brokered a multitude of different security agreements, or helped broker alongside Barak, that turned into formal agreements between the actual government of Israel and for example, for other organizations. Now, I think some of the reporting, particularly on a case we're going to get into with, on something we're going to get into with Peter Mandelson, is Peter Mandelson in the UK is just friends with everyone. Peter Mandelson is a considerably powerful political actor within the UK, and so the reporting on him, you know, look, the media will be like, oh, this raises serious questions, he's made bad misjudgments, maybe they're covering their asses so they don't get sued. I don't know. It's hard to really know. BBC is unironically just brass-eyed. The BBC is just, but their reporting on this is shocking, and just not, like, look, you can contextualize this. You can be like, Bill Gates vociferously denies it, but we have some contextual information which may say, hey, maybe there is something to this, and maybe Epstein was lying. We also don't know that 100%, but here's some information which suggests, like, his wife really hated Epstein, okay? And maybe it was because Epstein was lewd, disgusting, and creepy. And you know, Woody Allen has spoken about how Epstein had, like, he described it as like Dracula's castle, right? Do you remember when that came out? Like a few months ago? And everyone apparently knew that Epstein had all of these assistants who were like 14, 15, 16, sometimes like barely legal 18-year-olds around him who were apparently his assistants. But like, people knew that shit. And you think people don't talk in Hollywood? You think people don't talk who are in power? Bullshit. You don't think these people have advisors who say, okay, maybe stay away? His wife probably was disgusted because she knew that a lot of these affairs that Bill Gates was having was connected to this guy, you know?
And to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. Look, guys, this is exactly...
Woody Allen isn't a pillar of society. How do you mean? In what context? Of course he's not a pillar of society. I mean, he was quite a successful filmmaker.
What we suspected the whole time. Epstein was providing services to rich people and expecting payment via blackmail. Now you might say, and it's true, that we don't know that Epstein ultimately sent that version of an email.
Yeah. BBC is state-run television as well. Don't forget that. Undeniably.
To Gates. All we know is he sent that to himself. He may have planned the blackmail and just been drafting something. But what we do know are two things. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Gates was threatened by Epstein over an affair. We also know...
Wait. Hold on.
Are two things. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Gates...
Like, how is this not on the BBC? I'm sorry. How do you treat this story as just Bill Gates' denial is enough to tell you that that is everything? This, like... I seriously want you to see why mainstream media is gonna die. Because this how bad is it to just run with this kind of crap? You know, run with this kind of crap and just, well, he denied it. That's not enough. That is not enough. Like, look at this. Jeffrey Epstein appeared to threaten Bill Gates over Microsoft co-founder's affair with Russian bridge player. So he was on the Adderall. He was geeking off the Adderall and also having an affair. This guy is crazy with it.
It was threatened by Epstein over an affair. We also know that after this blackmail email Jeffrey sent to himself was written, eventually Gates sent a $2 million donation to MIT directed by Jeffrey Epstein, which is a bit weird if you had distanced yourself from the guy and y'all had this big falling out. Now again...
Can you believe that the way that the BBC reported this, that you had some guy going, there appears to be no conspiracy here. There appears to be no conspiracy here, Governor. No, Governor, there's no conspiracy here and the BBC's telling you there's no conspiracy here, my man. And then it's just like, hey, if you do the tiniest bit of research, looks like there is a bit of a fucking conspiracy here.
And do we know for
the American Burger Man comes in and goes, hey y'all, there's a damn conspiracy here. And the soy British man is like, no, Governor, we haven't got no conspiracy here.
sure that Bill Gates did all of that. No, of course we don't. But do I think Bill Gates was innocently looking for charity advice from a after he already pled guilty? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not that gullible. And speaking of not that gullible, we've been lied to also by another richest guy on the planet. Geez, it's a shock why they don't want to put this out. Elon Musk, who has been saying...
Like, can you believe that it was just like the reports that you got was like reading Elon's shitty tweets?
4 years that it is a lie that he went to Epstein's island. In fact, he says he refused to go. From Elon, he says, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island. I refused. He says, anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Later responding to another headline, which said Elon Musk planned trip to Epstein's private island. And
how did they know this for so long as well? How have we not known this for so long?
He says, this is false. But of course, we start to dig through the files, and we can see on Epstein's calendar that Elon Musk is booked in December 6th of 2014. But maybe you don't believe that. That's just the word of Jeffrey Epstein. But maybe you'll believe the word of Elon Musk, who was caught emailing Jeffrey Epstein to go to his island post the guilty plea. Elon Musk writes, we'll be in BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Good time to visit. Jeffrey...
God, Elon Musk is so fucking lame.
Epstein says, I will send a heli for you. Later, Elon Musk writes to Epstein, probably just to Lula and me, his ex-wife, what day and night would be the wildest party on your island?
What's a wild party with with someone who's convicted for sex offenses? What's a wild party there? What does that mean?
The world's richest man is asking the most pedophile man for the wildest party on his island. And then it gets more explicit. In 2012, remember, this is the guy who said, I refused it. I could never do that, right? It's false. But here in 2012, he says, do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of my sanity this year. I really want to hit...
Yeah, bringing the wife to the island. Yeah, for the bridge night. The geeked up bridge night at the island.
The party scene in St.
Do you have any party... Oh, sorry.
Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. Guys,
Did you... But also, by the way, understood, I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make Jeffrey Epstein really could not spell. Tallulah uncomfortable. Just like this stuff. Like, it's not... Also, it wouldn't just be the ratio. It's the fact that many of the women were inappropriately aged.
Is the opposite of what I'm...
Even if they weren't underage, you know. Even if they, were like over 18. The fact... It's just... It's weird and seedy for a guy like, like Jeffrey Epstein to have tons of really young women hanging around him. Like, even if they're over 18, that is weird, that is creepy, and anyone with a brain would know. And also, yeah... him saying he's been working to the edge of his sanity. What was he even doing? Just paying other people to work?
Looking for. Guys, he can't even play the I went to go study math excuse, which is what all these guys do. They say, hey, I just went to go talk to scientists. Elon's like, hey, I don't want to do that. I'm looking for a party. That's what I'm here to do. And
also, by the way, writing this on Christmas Day is so pathetic and sad. In the morning on Christmas Day as well.
And then Jeffrey Epstein writes, understood, I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make your ex-wife uncomfortable. I can't believe these guys are lying to us and people are swallowing it still, thinking that Elon Musk had nothing to do with this guy. So again, that's 2012. That's 2014. But guess what? There's another time in 2013. I mean, this seems like a yearly thing with the boys. Here, once again,
Legit saw a tweet from a Politico senior saying that Epstein was the one extending invitations while directly posting an email of Elon asking for an invitation. Completely captured media. I mean, 100%. Like, Elon Musk was just begging to go. He was begging to go. He's an idiot.
Elon Musk writes, we'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Again, is there a good time to visit? Jeffrey Epstein, any day, 1st to the 8th, play it by ear if you want, always space for you. They then plan some more, and you might think, well, if Elon ever told the truth, this is when he has to reject, right? Because he said, I refused. But actually, it appears to be one of those cases where, like, your friend says, like, oh, bro, I dumped her. And actually, it was the other way. Yeah, it turns out Elon didn't dump the dumped Elon. he says, bad news. Unfortunately, my schedule will keep...
Bro, how are you so lame that Jeffrey Epstein doesn't want to hang around with you? Jeffrey Epstein was hanging around with some of the most boring people, and from watching him get interviewed, he didn't come across as a particularly interesting individual himself.
Me in New York. Hopefully we can schedule another time in the future. Jeffrey Epstein let Elon down. That's actually the real story. Is the reason he didn't go in 2013 was because he couldn't go. Jeffrey Epstein was not there. Guys, I mean, how blatant do they have to make it before we start to just see through it, right? When they issue these ridiculous denials, they're totally associated with the guy after the guilty plea. They lie through their teeth, but they can't...
Like, this is once again the problem of mainstream journalism, and it extends to Israel, it extends to this, it extends to so many different things, right? When you hear this kind of stuff and people going, no, I didn't do that, we need to know the context of them saying, no, I didn't do that. And people need to be allowed to make up their own personal opinions and decide for themselves, based on the evidence, what has happened. And that's why someone like this is so much more convincing than this. Breaking: pictures of Menachem Begin were found all around Kunster Island, sources tell BBC. No.
Even keep their story straight. I mean, that's what's crazy. They're not even competent at this. They get caught in their own lies all the time. Remember, the FBI's official story was they didn't blackmail. Well, before we even had these files, Howard Lutnick was on the record calling Jeffrey Epstein the greatest blackmailer ever.
So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, you know, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video.
It's actually insane as well that you can hear someone like Lutnick just openly state this. By the way, he was his neighbor.
Guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Kunster Island is winding down. I was about to say winding down.
So Howard has a different perspective. Now, if you don't know, that guy... Do you think he's just telling the truth there? Even this guy who's contradicting the official narrative, this guy literally lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. This guy who's like, I'm going to tell the truth. Those guys participated. That guy lives next to Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, he lied too. I love this video we're about to get into because this guy, Mr. He's the greatest blackmailer ever, does he know something we don't know? Because it's interesting. Mr. I'm his neighbor had to also explain how he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And he lays it out pretty simply. He goes, yep, I lived next to him, but in 2005, I had such a horrible experience that I knew I could never talk to him again.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
We move in 2005, okay? Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 2008.
By the way, we just read the thing of Nutlick inviting Epstein to a Clinton fundraiser.
Right.
So knock on the door.
The FBI just dropped 3.5
on like a Saturday. Says,
sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to go back.
Never talk to him again.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 2008, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. And there's a massage table in the middle of the room. Massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he like gets like weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here.
What the hell is Pod Force 1?
So she looks at me.
That's why no one should ever owe so much money. I assume you mean earn or have so much money. That's why billionaires shouldn't exist. Billionaires shouldn't exist because these people are hollowed out, and they probably they come to this realization that once you accumulate enough capital, the requirement to accumulate enough capital is becoming morally bankrupt. It's spending no time with your family unless you're born into considerable wealth, and even then a lot of these people don't. It's realizing that there's no satisfaction in money, and so you start to look for more and more perverted pursuits.
And I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Well, he couldn't be more clear, could he, right? He says, hey, I made...
Once again, just a really good point about why it does not make sense to take these people at face value. The amount of lies that we've heard, the amount of claims and bullshit that we heard from Prince Andrew, the amount of just grotesque defenses that we heard, we can't be taking these people at face value at all.
I have been his next door neighbor, but I met him once before the 2008 guilty plea. Remember I said that was a big deal? And we got invited over, and it was like 5 seconds, and we left, and we realized he was a creep. We were out of there. He made this rude, lewd comment in front of my wife. I would never go see this guy. I mean, he makes it super clear he's gross.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
These other guys, they may have participated.
I love also that a guy who hangs around with Donald Trump, someone who is, grotesque and also a pervert in his own right, telling us, no, I just, I don't want, I wouldn't have had anything to do with him. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
They participated.
But Howard Lutnick, he could never. No, he's too good of a guy. Well, guess what we found in the old emails? Looky. It's Howard Lutnick writing in to Jeffy Boy in 2012. Hi, Jeff. We're landing in St. Thomas early afternoon, planning to head over. Where are you located? What's the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? Is this the guy?
Like, these people just lie, but apparently you need to take at face value the thoughts and words of people like Bill Gates.
You said made a lewd comment to your wife and, I could never be in front of him. He's gross. Guess what the next email is? My boy's wife messaging in, saying we're headed towards you in St. Thomas. Later, the subject line, Jeffrey Epstein. Good morning, Howard. Jeffrey wished me to pass you along. Nice seeing you. They clearly met, and the guy is just lying about it to your face, to the American public's face, and they tried to hide it from us. I cannot emphasize this enough. They're lying through their teeth. You think this guy perfectly remembers a 2005, like, walking in the guy's house? I remember exactly what I said to him. My wife and I looked at each other, and he wouldn't remember the 2012. I boated over to his private island for a dinner. Is that what we're really thinking? Is that what we're expected to believe? This is a momentary lapse in his judgment. No, these guys don't even care about being consistent. And they're all throwing each other under the bus. Don't you remember Elon Musk saying...
Do you remember this? Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. I mean, obviously, that was true. But I also just want to reiterate, by the way, like, when someone says, there's no conspiracy here, this is also in the DOJ documents. So Li Fang, DOJ document shows informant claimed Epstein used a dark money group to wire $380,000 to the 2018 campaign of Albert Bryan, now the sitting governor of the Virgin Islands. Bryan is the governor who fired the local attorney general, leading Epstein-related investigations. We know from already stuff that's been released that there is a huge amount of information vis-a-vis, Epstein, investigations into Epstein closing for, absolutely no reason. But just listen to this. The CI disclosed that they had information that Epstein wired over $380K to the Brian Roach campaign during 2018 and possibly in 2019. One of the last transactions was for $70,000. The wires were sent to Sebastiano Casanelli Paiewonsky, Esk of St. Thomas USVI, an attorney female for Paiewonsky, set up the fund to place the money into as a IRS 501 tax exempt, specifically for the operation of social welfare organizations. The funds were deposited into the fund. It was stated that the funds were used for campaign expenses and to pay persons to do things for the teams. When they tell you to just believe this shit about Epstein, when you are told that this is just what you get, what you see, what you see is what you get, and that you should just believe how these people deny that there's the fact that the BBC literally said in that video that there is no wider conspiracy is unbelievable. Also, listen to this. This is Al Sekel, who I don't know who it is, and apparently some people have claimed that it's a hacker. Someone said that his body was reportedly found at the bottom of a cliff near his home in southern France as of December 2021. His death remains unconfirmed by French authorities. Anyway, hacking Wiki again. This is the subject sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2010. They have all sorts of protection around your mugshot picture on Wiki, and so we are hacking Wiki now to remove it and replace it with a photo that you sent, which will have the headline, Jeffrey Epstein, businessman, philanthropist. By the way, we also took out you in the sex offender category and removed the headline beginning a sentence from Wiki that also stated sex offender, and now it just reads businessman, philanthropist. We recorded the IP addresses of those people who were going in and changing our edits back and actually hacked the site to block them back in. That's why the site has been stable. This is the level of things that Epstein was getting up to manipulate and hide the truth. Do you not think that the people around him are doing the same thing? But no. No conspiracy, nothing proved, the files don't bear that out at all.
The time to drop the really big bomb, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they haven't been made public. My guy, you also are in the Epstein files, very clearly doing stuff you lied about, okay? So is Howard Lutnick, who says, yeah, Bill Gates, he's probably getting blackmailed because he participated. What did you do on the island over in 2012, Howard? Do we know that? I mean, does anyone care? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is some of the most explosive stuff. It's also, again, I have to say, unverified, okay? This is the NTOC, the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. And the challenge with confirming some of this is that these are anonymous tips, or they black them out at least, so we don't know who they are, and anyone can drop a tip. Now, that doesn't mean that you...
I haven't had a chance to look into the Alan Oren and Tal Alexander things.
Should disregard them. It just means we can't...
And I actually haven't. I saw people talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff, but I haven't had a chance to look into it.
Verify them. The other challenge is that the FBI has a heavy incentive to discredit anything with Donald Trump in it, just because he's in the White House right now, obviously. And so I want to be clear, there are notes related to some of these submissions where they say things like complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible, additional research...
Complainant.
Showed 3 separate redacted. You know, it's hard to tell how much this is the proper due diligence of the FBI, which they should be doing, of course, and not all complaints are credible. But also there's this obvious conflict of interest with the fact that the sitting president is in some of these complaints. But here they are for what it's worth. Complaint summary. Blank reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis...
Like, we know that Trump is a creep. Like, all of this stuff apparently being, oh, it's hard to believe is really tough for me because it doesn't feel this way.
That she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend also said she was abused by Epstein. Later, there's very explosive claims about big parties with her, other younger girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. There's claims...
I just don't know why anyone acts as if that this is not a conspiracy. I'm sorry, and it's like, oh yeah, these are just like unverified claims. Bro, they're unconfirmed, but still at the same time, Trump's actions Trump's power, his ability to silence, sue, and prevent these people from ever being able to speak out and do anything against him. And Epstein's as well, and all the people who surround him is undeniable.
Claims third hand about a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book, citing Leslie Wexner.
Who's a lost cause and a narc? By the way, good luck with your tattoo, Anna.
Epstein, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. And it goes on like this for a while. Some of the complaints are just like very graphic, and obviously I'm gonna censor out some of it. But I should also mention the DOJ claims that some of these claims were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had any shred of credibility, they would have certainly been weaponized against President Trump already. Now,
I don't know about that, because I think quite a considerable amount of the Democratic establishment might have been, might have been implicated in it too, so it's quite hard to weaponize them, isn't it?
Agree that if a complaint is timed right before an election, there definitely could be some other motivations to that. But it's also ridiculous to say that anything in the Epstein files, if it were true, would have come out already. Because why didn't we see the stuff about Bill Gates, for example? I mean, that stuff apparently has been sitting in here for a long time. And not only did no one talk about it, the FBI literally, covered for it. I mean, they said that this was not the case. There are
I'm sorry to hear. I'm getting a tattoo of Chris. Please don't get a tattoo of me.
big claims against a lot of powerful people. Nobody in that file really wants to rock the boat or release the files because then they...
Which was the tip he skipped?
Get in trouble, and their buddies get in trouble, and that's a huge problem. So I don't really buy the idea that, oh, if it were true, it would have already gotten out. I don't buy that. That's why we need transparency. That's why it's important these files are out. But this is just a look at a small fraction of the files. And over the next few weeks, we're going to go through all of the major findings we can from this 3.5 million page document dump. But seriously, think about how discrediting this has been, not only to this administration, but to so many rich and powerful people who have lied through their teeth happily towards you.
And also, by the way, the fact that the fact that we just watched a report from a mainstream media outlet that was like Bill Clinton denied it. Why are there loads of photos of Bill Gates with redacted women? Like, what's that all about? Why have we got so many pictures of them that are redacted?
In order to hide their relationship with this man that many of them held post-guilty plea. And some of them, now we know, Epstein prepared blackmail for them and, according to reports, threatened.
Todd Howard breaks down his video game career. What could happen if the US strikes Iran? Epstein files release has references to Trump and other powerful figures. Quickly before we move on with this stuff, I mean, actually, I would like to say I'm probably going to upload this as a video and like talk about this because, like, I don't know if CoffeeZilla is perfect. Like, I don't know everything about him. I don't know if his politics are always that great. Yet simultaneously, what I do have to say is this is an excellent video and one that is worth pointing out as an example of the failure of something like the BBC versus someone like this who provides context, who provides considerable information to be like, hey, we can't just trust these people at face value. There's a lot of oddities, and really, this is a fantastic video, a really great video, and really does kind of put someone like the BBC to shame. And yeah, it just dropped, so if you want to check out No Politic here, do it after the stream. Stay here, or else there's going to be hell to pay. But yeah, please watch it after. And yeah, I think some of you, please never ever get a tattoo of like, loving a wife is the best thing his father could do. So Tectone has appeared to discuss his lost court case. So let's have a look at this.
A lot of people want to act like they're lawyers these days, okay? They do. What is a civil case? Spoiler alert, guys. I lost a civil case. I did. Hey, I did. And we're going to talk about, I lost. It's true. And we're going to talk about everything. What is a civil case? So a civil case is essentially a vibe check to where they see, how were this guy's vibes?
Describing it as a vibe check. All they have to do is look at your, all they have to do is to look at your social media, and that would fail the vibe check of what you are like as a person. But no doubt they went into how you actually behaved and looked at them, and they found your allegations against you to be credible. Serious allegations about him being a sexual abuser. And they found them to be credible. Seemingly they wouldn't have just done a vibe check on you.
Unfortunately, I'm fucking retarded. Yeah, L for me. I'm fucking retarded, and I run my mouth way too much. One thing that I've learned, and throughout this slideshow, there's going to be consistent change. I am going to start tweeting 95% less. I uninstalled Twitter on my phone, and I'm not going to tweet for 1 week. Yep, because a civil case isn't determined by proof. It's determined by vibes. And usually the way that court cases work for like criminal cases is you need to have proof.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good point to point out, Qatari Oiler. Not being allowed to own a gun in Texas is a real indication of you must have failed that vibe check so seriously that your vibes must be... I guess, you know what? It's a great way to describe a court case. When you get convicted of being a murderer, you failed the vibe check for not being a murderer. When you get convicted of being a sex offender, you failed the vibe check for not being a sex offender. When Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of child sex offenses, he failed the vibe check.
To prove that someone's guilty, but in a civil case...
Look at people in his chat typing W.
...case, I needed...
Guys, I'm going to delete Twitter after I've been caught for this kind of stuff. Sorry about that one.
...proof to prove that I'm innocent, which was hard and I'm a bastard. So, essentially...
Imagine having to do this, a slideshow. Imagine having to do a slideshow about why it's not actually bad to lose a civil court case.
The court decided that I'm a vibe rapist. Yeah, and my vibes were fucking terrible. So, the thing that I learned is, Tectone, stop fucking tweeting. Because my vibes are fucking terrible. And I don't think I've ever been on Twitter and done something where I was like, you know what? I'm going to tweet something that's positively going to affect my life. But yeah, the vibes are fucking off.
This is such a grotesque way to minimize the fact that you just lost a court case with such heinous allegations against you. With such heinous allegations of abusing your girlfriend. Like, by the way, these allegations have been out there for ages. And the most damning thing of Tectone, right, which is explained really well in Shamu's video, which I'd recommend that you check out, is in Shamu's video, he notes how, I think it's Pinky Chew and the other lady's name, I do apologize, I've forgotten. But anyway, Pinky Chew is Tectone's second girlfriend. Freem? Is that his first wife's name? Some of you who may be more interested in this kind of stuff may know. Anyway, so Freem was basically, after they broke up and got divorced, there are some very weird videos of Tectone, like, talking about being a bad husband and stuff. But anyway, so Freem... Pinky Chew was, like, weaponized by Tectone against Freem. Now, after Pinky Chew broke up with Tectone and released a serious amount of allegations, loads of people were like, oh, what's going on there? Hold on, in fact, I'll show you. I can show you this. Let me just give me 1 second. I can show you this right now. Now, after... Sorry, excuse me. So this is Tectone's second girlfriend. Here she is saying in January 4th, 2025, so about a year ago. I want to clear a few things up for the new year, and one is regarding Freem. I know last year we had a lot of drama and things turned legal. Throughout this legal process, I was given proof and that a lot of information I made public was false and lies told to scare me. I want to clear some of those things up, so the misinformation is hopefully done with. No cheating occurred for either party. I was given flight time information and proof, and I showed DMs as proof as well. No illegal recording occurred, and other things were taken way out of context to make me afraid. I was used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve the hate. By the way, she's talking about Tectone weaponizing her to do this. There were countless lies and rumors thrown around the internet to pit us against each other. At the same time, I was genuinely afraid. I was pressured to defend myself. I'm happy to say there is no lawsuit. We have cleared up a lot of what happened and got to the truth of it all. I know me saying this might confuse some people, but I can admit when I was wrong about something and was lied to about what happened. If you knew the full story, you'd understand, but that's not mine to tell. There are a lot of screenshots flying around, but a lot of those are out of context and misrepresented. Again, this was all cleared up legally, and so much was distorted to try and defame her. I'm glad I got the truth now. Hopefully we can all move on from this and stop spreading the hate. I would recommend, by the way, that you check out Shamu's video, because he details a lot of this stuff really well.
The vibes are off.
But yeah, I mean, not only is, like, this one of the heaviest copes I've ever seen, it's also a fucking disgusting diminishment of the stuff that he's done and the stuff he lost a case for doing. Sure, it's a civil case. Sure, it's not as significant. But I feel like, I don't know, I don't know what the civil case conviction rate of this kind of stuff is in America, but I know in the UK, for any of this kind of stuff, it's never that great. Why have I got to ban manga? Oh, wait, are you talking about him enjoying manga? Oh.
Talk about Mugen. All right. So Mugen put out a crazy fucking Google Doc on me. I'm also going to say I like Mugen. We were very, very, very close friends. Best friends, actually. He actually officiated my wedding. No, we were very good friends. We broke bread. We lived together for 8 years. Really, really good friends, me.
Who the fuck is Mugen?
Mugen. Yeah, Mooch is just wrong. Yeah.
Like, this, by the way, is what Mujin has posted. Finds that there are reasonable grounds to believe the respondent committed one or more of the following offences. Now, it doesn't mention trafficking, continuous trafficking, continuous sexual abuse of a young or disabled person, indecency with a child, he's not found guilty of. But sexual assault, he is. Indecent assault, no. Aggravated sexual assault, no. Stalking, he is found guilty of. So, amazing. Amazing that this guy is sat here telling you it's a vibes check that he failed. Right, okay.
I don't really get it at all. Is the PowerPoint over? No, it's not over. I have to go over a couple more Google Docs.
I need to go over my Google Docs.
So real quick, I got to highlight some things here real quick. So he makes some big claims.
Realize that loads of these people who are fans of Tectone like him because he is a misogynist. They like him because of the way he speaks and behaves online. That's why they're still watching this and loving this. There is, of course, an audience for repugnant individuals like this, repugnant, bold frauds.
And I want you to really...
Pep Guardiola has a job at Man City. Only joking there, only joking.
Take note of this, okay? What was said by Mujin was on January 29th at 2 a.m. And now, why is that important? Why is
vibes-based 10-year protective order?
It's important that Mujin said this on January 29th at 2 a.m. Mujin made a post saying that he read all of the documentation. Mujin, I really hate to break the news to you, but all of the documentation wasn't available until January 29th at 8 p.m. So how the fuck did you read all of the documentation when it wasn't out until 18 hours later? Like, listen, man, I understand you got to save your skin, but you couldn't have read all the documentation because it wasn't out until 18 hours after you typed all that shit. And then you go, and I guess we'll talk about this right now.
This guy, from his pathetic, whiny apology of going, someone brought up my dad, to this of him now going, yeah, I lost a vibes check. Oh, come on.
Now, right?
Yeah, Tectone, Mujin, all of these strange names, like, feels strange to even mention.
You make this claim. Why did I choose to speak up now? Because
Also, by the way, most vindicated take on Ethan Klein is that he is a misogynist, and why also people shouldn't have just given up on this whole notion that he was should have given up on this whole notion that he wasn't worth talking about. His level of misogyny, the stuff he ended up getting up to, it was so repugnant. I hope he doesn't do any more for a while. But like this guy, look at this. Tectone under fire. Don Lemon charged under KKK Act. Fast facts. Reddit mods fight back in Ethan Klein case. Look who gained like large audience. This repugnant misogynist. Ethan Klein posted this guy, no?
Protective order court cases are infamously difficult.
He is crazy looking.
For the victim, especially in the state of Texas. Okay. So, and let's...
Yeah, his dad failed the vibe check in front of Congress.
Just talk about...
You know the scene in the Sopranos where Carmela's talking to the guy? Like, I've mentioned this before, I'm sure. I love this scene. Where she's talking to the lawyer, and the lawyer is like, I'm not going to charge you because I won't take dirty money. And she's like, is there any way my husband could repent for what he's done? And he's like, maybe if he sat in a cell and read Crime and Punishment for 10 years, maybe then he would have some understanding. Losing your civil court and then going back to streaming. Do you think this guy is going to change? No. He's going to ramp up into an even more repugnant misogynist, an even larger hater of Hassan Piker.
Some numbers here real quick. So this guy says it's incredibly difficult and infamously difficult to get a protective order in Texas. So let me ask you guys a question real quick. Guys, what % of protective orders do you think get granted in Texas?
Imagine having to learn these stats to defend yourself. Protective order grants in Texas.
The reason why he's talking is because protective orders are infamously hard to get. Brother, Brother, 77% of them are approved.
For a final protective order or approved statewide from FY, the Travis County Attorney's Office handles applications for cases involving sexual family violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking. And experience yeah, but I mean, if you've reached that threshold to be granted, like, if anything, I feel like a lot of men get away with this kind of stuff. He has kind eyes. Yeah, Will. He has kind eyes. Amazing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm sorry. This is not a good defense of yourself. That basically you fall within the 77%, excuse me, of these orders that get granted. I don't think this was granted by a mistake by what is available online. Like, what is available online? What kind of stuff is said online about you? Sorry, this is the AI overview. While specific for individual not publicly listed, Texas courts reported, what's the link?
77%. So, Mujan, I don't know if you Googled anything for fucking...
of protective order grants in Texas success. The AI overview is telling me that the number is 83%.
5 seconds. Clearly not. But dear God, I understand people have to save their skin, but can we not just make up lies as well? Like, come on, man. Like, can we, like, 77? Oh, sorry, 77. I fucked up. 77. Anyways, that shit was cringe. It is what it is. And you know what? Once again...
Using fucking Reddit speak whilst you're justifying why it's okay to get a protective order against you. I'm just looking, without legal representation. There's one here that's about, like, it says 83% are granted with people who have attorneys, whereas 32% of victims without an attorney are apparently granted them, which is kind of crazy. Retna found that with legal representation and protective order, blah, blah, blah. So this is a document that's seemingly just about whether, basically, if you have legal representation, you're probably going to do much better. And full survivors and protective orders. A fifth survivor came in, and civil protective orders. Influence, reclamation. Okay, this is quite hard to... I'll have to research all of this one day to find out the truth of what he's fucking saying.
I'm not mad.
And yeah, he did slip in a 6-7 joke.
I don't care. It is what it is. Me and Mujan never talked. It doesn't matter. I had him on a podcast like 3 times because I liked his vibes, and he was the giggler. But it is what it is. I don't mind at all. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Some high-level copium going on there. This is not a case of is what it is. You lost a case, and however civil that case may have been, you lost it. You lost that case because of the allegations that we can all easily see online. We can all see this crap online. Well, not crap, sorry. We can all see all of the crap that you're putting out online. I'll see if Shamu has posted about this. I'm actually going to follow him back because he's done really well.
For SA. Their name.
Okay, right. That's probably the limit of the tech tone stuff that I'm gonna do. Take a shot every time he says vibes. Yeah, I think it needs to be done. I think you need a vibe check on this guy. Sorry, Isaac just invited me to collab on the podcast, so I'll do that in a minute. Okay, right. OJ wasn't found liable. He failed the vibe check. Yeah, I mean, you can fail that. OJ is living proof that one can fail the vibe check and still get away with that crime. Oh, God. I cannot believe that this world of just waking up and hating Hassan Piker and being your industry, like nothing else but hating Hassan Piker and hating on women on the internet. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable.
Maybe.
And actually, wait. Here's a gold standard.
A clip can get to him. I just want to thank him for having my back and kind of giving my perspective and my POV on why I said what I said. maybe we don't need to talk, but I at least just want him to know that I appreciate him being pretty level-headed and telling his friend, well, this is why Tectone did this.
Why is he also always wearing, like, fucking a Minecraft shirt?
Because as a guy who's been horrifically misunderstood on the internet, I really appreciate people just, having a level.
Misunderstood on the internet. All one has to do to understand Tectone is watch 30 seconds of his fucking content of him just spewing out slurs about women.
I had to be like, well, let me think about this from Tectone's perspective. And I very much appreciate that.
Here we have
And I also hope that him and his wife and, sorry, I will call her by name, Ela, are doing okay, as well as maybe...
By the way, these are the kind of things that this piece of shit was accused of. I was crying by the side of a bathtub. John grabbed my head, that's Tectone's real name, shoved it towards his clothed crotch and said that my crying turned him on. Did you call the police? No, but I later reported the incident to the police on or around January 22nd. John told me he wanted me to perform oral on him. I had recently gotten a breast augmentation and was told by doctors to lay on my stomach while I was recovering. I told John that I didn't want to perform oral on him because of this. While I was sitting up, John pushed me onto his legs, so my back was on his legs, and pushed my head onto his penis. This forced my mouth to make contact with his penis. He would not let go of my head unless I complied, so I gave in to his demand until he finished. This is the stuff that this guy was accused of. Why do you think these are the kind of people who worship Ethan Klein's lawsuits, who think Ethan Klein's lawsuits of, like, destroying women are amazing? Gotta go. The missus is making me dinner. Great to hear from you, Will, as always. But yeah, why do you think this guy is... Why do you think people like Legal Mindset, people like Tectone, really love making videos about Ethan Klein legally cooking people? Why do you think... that this is just loved by right-wingers who are grotesque themselves? Why? Why do you think that is? Because I think the answer is pretty simple. Because these lawsuits...
It is utterly ridiculous.
Unlike how they were framed as being something that was about being something that was about copyright, were about punishing women on the internet. I feel like the new Epstein drops. I feel like A.Up Lovely is the most vindicated man in the earth. Yeah, I mean, his work around Mandelson is actually what we're about to go into now. I voted for the boot. It's my boot. Yeah. Thanks for the 2200. Yeah, I mean, Tim Pool would love this. Ooh, what the fuck? Yeah, by the way, these allegations, this is exactly what was reported online for ages about Tectone. If anyone had bothered to look into these allegations... Like, this is why that Shamu guy... Like, once again, I watched his video as part of the video that I uploaded, and I linked his in the thing. He has a video called Twitch's Most Abusive Liar. And to be honest, I don't think I'll watch the whole thing on stream, but it's like, it's really good for, like, understanding what actually happened. Like, what is actually going on with this Tectone guy. And it's bad. It's really repugnant. It's really disgusting. And it's unsurprising that he got away with it. It's unsurprising that he got away with it because he turned himself into a right-wing slop tuber. You're on while I'm cooking, by the way, Chris. A Fit TT. Good to see you, and I'm glad. I hope that I'm helping making a delicious meal. That the nourishment that my words offer you are helping to make a delicious meal for you. Okay. He's also bold. Yeah, he is also bold. That is an important point that I do think bears mentioning. The man is bold, and he's a wicked individual. Okay, right, so because most of you aren't from the UK, there's probably someone who you aren't as focused on, which is Peter Mandelson. Now, Peter Mandelson is a horrifying little man. Peter Mandelson is someone who was the former ambassador to Washington. This is Peter Mandelson. We'll do a little zoom in on his face. He's not a good guy. He had a close relationship with Epstein, but he's basically been trying to get out of it under claims that, he didn't do that. He's still a member of the House of Lords, which is the unelected body of the British government who pass bills and such. And he's there for life. How he still has this power, how he is still allowed to be a member of the Labour Party when, someone like Jeremy Corbyn was removed from it is unbelievable. It's really, really, really bizarre how he is still in this. And I think being a member of the Labour Party is the strangest thing. Keir Starmer loves this guy, but he was also one of the most pathetic emailers of Jeffrey Epstein that you'll ever see. He sent him emails like this. Where are you? I miss you. So what are you lining up for me in New York? Let's speak. Why is it that when Peter Mandelson emails Jeffrey Epstein and asks, what have you got me lined up in New York, Jeffrey Epstein doesn't respond to him? Why is it something that can't be said over email? You know, surely that would be helpful to help a secretary or whoever the hell organizes Peter Mandelson's diary, right? You'd expect that. You know. This is a guy who it has taken so long, and the fact that he is still in power, whilst, do you remember when the birthday book came out? He said Jeffrey Epstein was his best pal in the birthday book. He said Epstein was intelligent, sharp-witted man who parachuted into his life. Lord Mandelson adored this guy, and he's still in the Labour Party. This guy is still in the Labour Party. I regret ever meeting him or being introduced to him by his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm just trying to find his actual contribution to the birthday book. Why has no one got it? Mandelson. God, Piers Morgan is crying over Bassem Youssef mocking Erica Kirk, which is Bassem Youssef should not be anywhere near that fucking Candace Owens podcast, and fuck him for doing that. But yeah, this is really hard to read. But wherever he is in the world, he remains my best pal. So obviously Mandelson was sending him emails about how much he loved and missed Epstein, you know, months and years after. On October the 19th, 4 days after my 11th birthday, to clarify, Peter Mandelson emailed Jeffrey Epstein vacation. You don't care about me anymore, after Epstein had been in prison, right? This is really weird stuff. So the birthday book's been known for a while, but all of this stuff is new. Like, let's see some more. Here's Ghislaine Maxwell, which is the G-Max email. I'm going to start doing an impersonation of her. Peter, you spoiled Jeffrey's lunch. Peter, I've warned you about that before. Behave or you will be punished like the bad boy you are. Oh, okay, mind you, my plans for Thailand and Bali at the beginning of September are now firming up. And what about George Mitchell? Now you're impatient. I'm beginning to get a sense of what you were like as a child. From Ghislaine to Peter. I am feeling starved of contact. He maintained a long friendship with this guy. He maintained a really long friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell. Those emails are from 2002. These are really weird things. What is going on here? What is this? Look at this one from 2011. I refuse to forget you. He apparently regrets his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. It actually looks much more like Epstein he regrets ever being friends with Peter Mandelson because he was so weird. He says, I refuse to forget you. Mr. Epstein, I refuse to forget you. And still, this guy is in the Labour Party. This guy who is sending fucking soppy emails to Jeffrey Epstein is still allowed to be part of the UK Labour Party. You have to... I don't think you're even gonna believe. Like, you want to see what the UK mainstream media is up to on this topic? Let me just show you what one of the hosts had to do today. One of the hosts of Sky News. Trevor Phillips. Hold on. Let's have a look at this. They knew this guy had connections to Epstein, and for some reason, they appointed him to be part of.
To all intents and purposes,
they appointed him to be part of. To be the ambassador to Washington. Sorry, I'm looking for this video. Why can't I see this? Yeah. Here you go. So this is what Sky News host Trevor Phillips had to do today.
Peter Mandelson. Welcome to Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips. Peter Mandelson and I met for the first time almost exactly 50 years ago.
In 50 years of friendship, this guy who you've maintained a close relationship with, who I think was the best man at his wedding, if I remember correctly. No, this surprisingly isn't the guy from GTA. This is Trevor Phillips. It's not the guy from GTA, as you can pretty much see. I don't think they're the same person. I don't know. But for 50 years, he's known this guy. Okay, that's kind of significant. You didn't know? He never mentioned his relationship with Epstein? Because I think he may have shown that off before to you and told you, I've been hanging around with all these mega rich people over in America.
On a march protesting against apartheid.
They were protesting. These two are protesting against apartheid. This guy's in favour of fucking apartheid in Palestine now.
It's no secret here in Westminster that over the following 3 decades, he and I worked together, first as student activists, then as television journalists, and as elected politicians. He's appeared more than once on this programme. We were, and are still, friends.
You're still friends with him? This is mainstream media, man. This guy has to say, I'm still friends with Peter Mandelson. What the fuck? This is not some new revelation, by the way.
His political career was long and illustrious. Mine was brief and disastrous. It's a friend's privilege to tell you that you are ill-suited to a role, even that you are a complete idiot. 20 years ago, Peter was honest enough to make it clear to me that my lack of tact and distaste for compromise meant that I'd be better suited to journalism than...
Look at also what's going on underneath. Mandelson told Epstein he was trying hard to change bonus policy after payment to his husband. So Epstein gave some money to Peter Mandelson and... Peter Mandelson's husband, and then Peter Mandelson changed UK political law, excuse me. Changed UK policy as a result of that. Is this what a democracy looks like? Is this normal? Is this acceptable? Because certainly Jeffrey Epstein is a story of a man who was incredibly wealthy and trod all over democracy to bend the world to his whims and wills.
Party politics. I have not spoken personally to Lord Mandelson about the release this weekend of documents, messages, photographs and videos related to the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. He was invited to join us this morning, but declined. However, he has told this programme that neither he nor his husband, Ronaldo Avila da Silva, has any record or recollection of receiving payments in 2003 or 2004, or knows whether the documentation is authentic.
Read this as well. Bill Gates back for another biggest hit. Spent the day with Gates in Seattle having monstrous fun. That was from Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Mandelson. Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Mandelson. Mandelson said, "Are you in Paris next weekend?" Epstein said, "No." So Epstein was telling him that he was having monstrous fun with Bill Gates, but he doesn't remember getting money from him in 2004?
He does accept that Ronaldo received a loan of $10,000 from Epstein whilst he, Mandelson, was a senior cabinet minister. And he acknowledges that in the same period, Epstein was amongst those who lobbied him on important policy matters.
How is this democracy? How can you be lobbied by the world's most prominent pedophile and you can still be in the Labour Party that same day? He's not been expelled yet. He is still a member of the Labour Party. He still has influence over British politics. He is someone who has trodden over British democracy and is still being protected by the Labour Party. At the behest of a pedophile, he changed policy for money. I wonder what Labour in Labour Party actually means to them. I think you're wondering for everyone, Thomas. Thanks for the 2200 Chilean.
There's no suggestion that Lord Mandelson's done anything unlawful. But I would claim the friend's privilege to tell Peter that he has been, at best, naive and foolish.
Been naive! He's trodden over British democracy. This is a friend of Peter Mandelson. a friend of Peter Mandelson. Like, look, I am well aware of what democracy is. Democracy has always been a lie for the oligarchy to pacify us, thinking we have influence by merely voting. I think that perhaps there's some truth to that. But I just wish to say here, listen to the way that these people speak. That he's been naive. You are not naive to maintain a decade-long friendship with a sex offender after you know that they are a sex offender. You could not spend that much time around Jeffrey Epstein, become his best pal, and not know what he was up to.
Foolish, at worst, greedy and duplicitous. Whatever is true, as far as...
No, at worst, at the behest of a sex offender, he altered British democracy.
Politics and public office are concerned, for Peter Mandelson, this is the end. The question...
No, it won't be, because the Labour Party will have anyone. Just don't speak out against Israel or against our relationship with America or attempt to help children get out of poverty. Don't do any of those things.
Now is whether the price of his misjudgment is to be paid only by the man himself, or whether those who trusted him and elevated him to the peerage and to one of the highest diplomatic posts available should also share in his ignominy.
Welcome. But yeah, just listen to that and just remember that he's like, oh, you know, these people work for Sky News. A.Up Lovely on his own can find this. Peter Mandelson saying to Peter Mandelson from Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Epstein saying to Mandelson. I made a mistake there. Epstein is saying to Mandelson, excuse me, I refuse to forget you. Like, ugh. Excuse me, I've kind of fucked up the first half of this video. I'll have to get Ethan's Basement to add in the inverse. Like, why was Epstein sending, Mandelson... wait, actually, no. So the first one is from Mandelson. Sorry, excuse me, it's this one that's not. Mandelson was said from Epstein, I refuse to forget you, when he was the one sending him soppy ones previously saying, where are you? I miss you. Hold on. Read this one as well. Listen to this one between Epstein and Mandelson. Okay, so starting here. Peter, I'm sure blank would love to see number 10. That's from Epstein. Here's for Epstein to... sorry, this must be Mandelson. I have had a V-bad setback with R, who has somehow got into my texts. Jeffrey Epstein then proceeds to say, whoops. Now, R is in reference to his boyfriend and now husband. Here we go. This email is probably compromised. Let's talk. So there's Epstein talking to Peter Mandelson. And then Peter Mandelson says to Epstein, thanks, good talk. So basically, his husband has found something in his text to Epstein which have caused a situation in which his husband has had a bad reaction. Let's have a listen to Peter Mandelson. Here's Jeffrey Epstein wrote, you didn't call me. I spent an hour with Ronaldo. Call me tomorrow. Ronaldo being his then husband. Then boyfriend. I was immersed in Afghanistan. Thanks for talking to Ronaldo. Jeffrey Epstein kept spelling it wrong. It did him, therefore me, a lot of good. You now see the problems. I cannot talk to him about these things at all. He won't listen. I'm doing Sunday media. We'll call. Thanks again. I, as always, am there. Can you call me on landline at home? Just weird. Just really, really weird. Why is it that Jeffrey Epstein is having to call his husband to tell him, this is the way it is. Morgan McSweeney, chief of staff, worked for Peter Mandelson when he was a counsellor in London. Previously, McSweeney left school and spent time in a kibbutz in Israel. Crazy. Of course it's Ronaldo. Yeah, Sue indeed. Hello, Riverwand. And yeah, perfect Sunday news. Fantastically interesting Sunday, as always. But yeah, so, like, the thing is that, like, I just think there's no smoke without a fire. When you spend so much time with this person, how is this plausible? In the Epstein documents, a victim mentions Peter Mandelson and Google co-founder Sergey Brin being present while they were sexually abused. So someone wrote this. I am attaching blank redacted emails that were written at the time I was being trafficked. Please note that Peter Mandelson met with Jeffrey Epstein in January 2007, the same month I met with Sergey Brin, with redacted and Adam Castella. Redacted and redacted being my witness. I'm sorry, he knew, and the Labour Party is protecting him. I just read your message, Greg. Guy got Elon. It's just, yeah, and so much for Google's do not be evil. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, Google in of itself is an evil company. But yeah, there's a long thread here about like basically some kind of financial scam that Epstein was getting involved in with Mandelson. So here's an explanation from Mandelson. Redacted, as we discussed, I am considering purchase of an apartment in Rio. It is in a block under construction in Ipanema. It is being sold off, resold off plan by the original purchaser. Asking price is 5.35 million reals. I am told that this value will rise on construction and will follow Rio property prices up in coming years. I can forward property details to you in next few days, but I would be grateful for advice from you on how HSBCPB in Rio can assist in helping me take on the decision on this particular property, and in a purchase, I also need some advice on tax implications in Brazil. So this is just quite boring stuff, and he's sending it from Beijing. Jeffrey Epstein says, sent to my bank manager, grateful for helpful thoughts from Chief Life Advisor. Mandelson claims he has no information about this, but seemingly they were engaged in some kind of financial scam to make 750k in tax avoidance. This shit is so evil. I do not think people are going to be able to understand. I think perhaps not. No, I don't think so. I don't think people will understand. I don't think people will get there at all. I don't think people will ever be. There's just too much as well. Evil child murdering billionaires. The fact that, once again, he is still in the Labour Party is perhaps the most insane part of this. Well, there are also, by the way, Epstein literally believed as well. He claimed Peter Mandelson governed Britain for 13 years. Listen to this. I like it. I don't like it. The book is part candid autobiography and part history, and describes what motivated me and made me tick as I played third man to two prime ministers, Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. It is about why things happen, not just what happened. The rise, fall, and future of a political phenomenon. that governed Britain for 13 years, and what happened to me and my life during this roller coaster ride. This book is 1/3 autobiography, 1/3 history, and 1/3 opinion. It describes my various roles, my motivations. I think he's sending him some kind of reviews for his book. I don't know. That would make sense. Yeah, these are reviews. They're never releasing video, by the way. I mean, the only video we got was Jeffrey Epstein playing tag with some women, which I guess I can show. This is a very, very, very creepy video. By the way, there's a split second where that's unredacted. Hold on. There's actually 2 seconds where you can't make anything out, but it's unredacted. There's a, wait, that's probably the most clear look you're gonna get at who the hell these people are. There you go, look how bad this fucking redacting is. You can just make out that face. And I'm sure with like AI upscaling technology, someone could do something, but fuck knows. It's not doxing, it's investigative journalism to show you how bad these redactions are. Just such an odd video. What do you think about that girl that was yelling in Mexico and then they disappeared her that same night? I haven't heard that. I don't know if it's a child. New Bill Barr, as they were at Interlaken camp together. I don't know who. Well, yeah. If with nefarious intentions could have caught it. Yeah, exactly. It's also their job to redact it, not mine. I just also want to show you quickly how they look at this. This is how Labour were rolled out today to talk about Peter Mandelson.
A member of the House of Lords taking the Labour whip. Given last night's revelations about loans to his then partner from Jeffrey Epstein, while he was a cabinet minister, do you think he should be stripped of the whip and possibly his peerage?
Well, I think before taking any action like that, we need to understand exactly what's happened. You're asking me here about something that happened nearly 20 years ago. I don't know the full detail of it. I wasn't in government 20 years ago.
But he himself has said he acknowledges that money did go to his partner.
That's right. I don't know whether he declared it or not, and he should have done.
I can't believe the issue they're making of this is whether money was declared, not the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It's just grotesque.
The declaration rules have been brought in.
No problem. Thank you all for being here. It's a crazy pop-in stream for like Epstein stuff.
By then, so I think it would be for Peter Mandelson to explain whether or not that money was properly declared, and if not, then he will need to account for that. But I don't want to jump the gun and make assumptions. I think we need to find out exactly what happened
It's
first.
perfectly fair for you to say that you don't know, but ought there to be an investigation by the party?
And I guess it must have to be something with that. Like, it must have to be something like that, that it is bad lefty, that it is just pertains to him being still so powerful.
Well, I think first of all, we need to hear from Peter Mandelson whether that money was properly declared or not. As I say, it was 20 years ago and I don't know. So I think we need to establish what's gone on before we decide what action we need to take.
Why do you need any amount of this stuff to start an investigation? The guy is had a close relationship with a guy who was receiving emails like this. So this is Martin Novak, Martin Novak, a Harvard professor, who, by the way, his email is blacked out, redacted here, and then is not redacted later on. Anyway, Martin Novak says, a spy was captured after completing her mission. Martin Novak from Jeffrey Epstein. Did you torture her? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? What was Jeffrey Epstein actually getting up to? Like, how bad is this? How bad is this? And these people know much, much, much more than they are letting on. Much more. Like, listen to this. This is Keir Starmer's reaction. Like, someone like Mandelson, who was best pals with him,
responded to the latest release of Epstein files, saying that the convicted sex offenders' victims should be the first priority. Sky News is combing through millions of pages of documents and thousands of videos and photos released by the US Justice Department 24 hours ago. Well, joining me now is our chief political correspondent, John Craig. He's in Westminster for us. John, what has the Prime Minister been saying?
Well, the Prime Minister has broken his silence over the latest tranche of emails, documents and so on released about Jeffrey Epstein. And his main point he's made is that Andrew, former Prince Andrew, must testify for the victims. Now, the Prime Minister was speaking on his Far East trip on the way from China to Japan. Now, he was asked if Andrew should apologise to the victims for his association with the disgraced paedophile. Is it time for...
The problem is not Prince Andrew's association with a disgraced paedophile, it's that he participated in it.
...him to testify...
Nothing is cryptic about it, it's clear as day. Let go of your programming and allow yourself to call this what it is, obvious evil. What do you mean? Like, what I'm saying is if, like, what is he actually talking about here? Like, he's talking about a spy. Like, I don't doubt that they engaged in torture and barbaric things against women. I mean, Epstein's house with that strange dentist chair and all those masks is probably indicative of that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I don't doubt that any of that stuff is happening. What I mean is, like, what actually fully was going on? Will we ever know what fully was going on? Because quite likely what's redacted is probably the most grotesque of all of it.
Before Congress about what he knew. And he was also asked about Lord Mandelson and particularly the £10,000 payment to his partner at the time when Lord Mandelson was Labour's business secretary. And he was asked, does that mean he's fallen from the standards you'd expect for a peer of the realm? Now, the partner at the time, and now his husband, is Ronaldo Avila da Silva. They married in 2023. This relates to payments made 2008-2009. In his reply to those questions, the Prime Minister said this: Epstein's victims have to be the first priority. As for whether there should be an apology, that is a matter for Andrew. And then in terms...
It's not a matter for Andrew. It is not a matter for Andrew. You are associated with Jeffrey Epstein. There are emails between you and Jeffrey Epstein talking about meeting a Russian girl. There are photos of you with girls. There are conversations with you about procuring women from Ghislaine Maxwell. That is a question for the British courts. That is a question for the Prime Minister to start talking about potentially taking legal action against this guy. Like, serious legal action, throwing this guy in jail. The fact that these people sit here and say, that's a matter for Andrew. No, it is not. And I was like, what did you mean, the person? And then I realised James Earl Ray is the person who killed him. Unfortunately, we didn't get the same James Earl Ray, but James Ray is fantastic.
In terms of testifying, Sir Keir Starmer said, I've always said anybody who's got information should be prepared to share that information in whatever form they are asked to do that. And then he answered the question about Lord Mandelson and said, in relation to Peter Mandelson, obviously he was removed as ambassador in relation to the further information that came to light in September of last year. And then the Prime Minister said, I've nothing more to say in relation to Peter Mandelson.
He was like, this is it. He's still in the Labour Party. He's still in the House of Lords. Do something. House of Lords.
Mandelson. Well, these latest disclosures about, first of all, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor will increase the pressure on him to testify to a congressional committee or some sort of inquiry in Washington. He's likely to resist that, but there is always the chance, of course, that he could be subpoenaed.
Like, I think you seriously need to talk here, because I was just checking this. Apparently, they have to be convicted of a crime. Mandelson will probably never be convicted of a crime. I think here you have to talk about changing the law. When someone forms... I mean, the House of Lords shouldn't exist anyway. But you need to talk about changing the law to say, actually, if someone falls into such major disrepute, they can no longer be a member of the House of Lords. They can no longer have say in British politics, when we literally know that he worked to undermine British democracy, that he should not be in any kind of position like this, you know? And yet they won't do anything. They will keep letting him be there. And they won't even make him standing with the great people of Persia. It is despicable that they protect them. How much power did Queen Victoria actually have over the colonialism? Obviously, she took part in support of it. But how much power did a monarch really have at the time? You know what? I don't know the answer. I don't know what like her specific role was. Like, she was more just a figurehead of the colonialism. At certain times, monarchs had much more power, obviously, and like Cromwell and stuff. Well, Cromwell wasn't a monarch, but still, Cromwell had the power to be way more involved in something like Ireland. And no doubt before democracy really developed in the way it did, the king did have more power and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think Queen Victoria may have had that much power. Although, that being said, Queen Elizabeth was like altering policy to allow her to keep colonial artifacts, or like lobbying for it. But Queen Victoria was obviously more just a figurehead of the colonial empire. Like, she was the head of the state, really.
Summoned to appear to give evidence. As for Lord Mandelson, well, the PM may have nothing more to say, but there are plenty of opposition politicians who believe that he should now be stripped of his peerage. That charge is being led by Stephen Flynn, the Westminster leader of the Scottish National Party, and some of the smaller parties are backing him. Up to now, government ministers have said no, he shouldn't lose his peerage. Sir Chris Bryant, one of the trade minister, for.
How is a guy who was constantly emailing emailing Epstein, like, around such a disreputable monster? How is it that he shouldn't even be a question of him being removed? Lord Sigmaroy, just stop watching at this point. I'm sorry, if you're really, really upset by the thing that I'm doing with my voice, no one else makes like regular complaints about it. I'm sorry, and I hate to be harsh. Like, I don't want to come across as angry or dickish, but if you really hate it that much, just stop watching.
For example, has rejected that call, and that seems to be the government's view. But these latest developments, these latest disclosures from the Epstein files have indeed stirred more controversy, put pressure on Andrew to testify, something the British Prime Minister is saying he should do in an American court or an American inquiry. And, of course, there will be political pressure back home on Sir Keir Starmer.
Okay, I am going to stop with him because this is kind of, okay, guys, I'm probably gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys all for watching. Now, first of all, I wanted to say me and Isaac are going to be doing a No Politic Here fundraising stream on Wednesday with a few guests. We've got Spooky Scary Socialist, iDubbbz, Noah Samson, and Cruel World Happy Mind. We've got all of these people coming on. We're going to do a fundraiser for the Gaza City Mutual Aid Fund. And yeah, so that will be on Wednesday. I'm going to be live tomorrow. I'll be covering more Epstein stuff. I'll be covering other news and stuff tomorrow, probably more wider stuff. I thank you all for coming. I thank you all for watching, and thank you all for donating and the memberships. It really helps me to do this, and I'm incredibly grateful. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Oh, wow. Holocene has been. Thank you for becoming a member. I like your little Eggman profile picture. Thank you for becoming a member. But yeah, tomorrow we will be streaming. And if you're looking for something to watch now, the No Politic Here with James Ray has just dropped. It's quite an eclectic episode. It's about a multitude of different things. It's about, we have stuff about, a bit about Bosnia at the end. We have quite a bit about, the United States and Israel and ICE, and I think that you will really enjoy it. So thank you all for coming, and I'm just eternally grateful. Check out the Discord and check out a SEALs family fund if you would like to donate there. Thank you. Okay, guys, see you later.
It is utterly ridiculous.
George, I was about to end the stream, but then George woke. Thanks for all becoming members. Now I'm ending the stream. Thank you so much. I was like, should I leave that till tomorrow? George woke. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm incredibly grateful. Oh, wait, actually. Ooh. Wait. How many of you are still in here? I'm going to do a little gift at the end. I can gift, for anyone who's still watching this, I'm going to gift 500 memberships. No, 100 memberships. I'm going to send 5 now, and then I'll send 5 another time. So enjoy the 5 new memberships to anyone who's still here, who's still watching.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Enjoy the memberships. Apologies for doing this all so late. Thank you so much again. I'll do the other 5 tomorrow. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys later. Elab probably left. Thank you so much. I didn't do 500, unfortunately, no. All right, bye-bye.